Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we are. The Ontario Doubletree.
Long time buddy of yours, man. I love your announcing stuff. I saw you over here, so I sorry, my man. We're
Thank you.
cameras. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for coming over.
Talk
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Area, California, about an hour east of downtown Los Angeles. It's the first show of 2020 for Thompson Boxing, and it's an anniversary year. Thompson Boxing in its 20th year of business, kicking it off in the club scene from the Doubletree in Ontario. It's usually, you're going to have this room where you're having weddings, the quinceañeras, the parties. But tonight on a Friday night, it is all boxing. Thanks for joining us all over the world. We know you're watching us on the Facebook stream. Let people know there's 6 fights coming your way. I'm Viktor, joined by the one and only Rich Murata, the president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, one of the best out there in the sport. And Rich, when people start talking about the club scene, for the people who don't know much about boxing, they only know about pay-per-view or what's going on in the big fight tomorrow in Vegas. The club scene is where you make your bones.
That's right.
And you grow.
That's right.
And if you're a promoter, it's also where you lose a lot of money.
Absolutely right.
You've seen it come day and night.
Well, let me tell you, because this is what I always hear when I hear about a new promoter starting up. Whether it's a big name fighter going to be a promoter, or whether in this case it was Thompson Boxing 20 years ago. What I hear is they're not going to last 6 months. And in most cases, that is exactly what happens, because people just don't know what it's like swimming with the sharks in boxing. But I tell you, Ken Thompson and Alex Campanova, they had not only a dream, but they had a plan, and they kept to it, and they found local fighters, and they built them from prospects into contenders, eventually to champions in some cases. They built a local following and a local clientele. They established a beachhead right here, and they've kept their promises to the fans of continued regular fights and continued regular good fights. And 20 years is a lot longer than 6 months. They're still here.
And there's some people who only last one show, and sometimes that show never gets off the ground.
That's right.
So we're gonna, you know how this works. We interact with you here on the Facebook page. It's our 3rd season of doing it, and it's a completely different broadcast. If you've never seen it, it's you leave a comment, we're gonna read it, and we're gonna interact with you. So try to keep it semi-PG. We know you're gonna get into it Friday night. We know you're a hardcore fan. We appreciate you watching all over the world. And the reason you're watching this, because you're probably related to a fighter, you know him, and you couldn't make it tonight, or you're a hardcore fan who's been following these young kids. It's like in baseball where you go to a minor league game and you see, hey, I saw Derek Jeter win. I saw Clayton Kershaw win. And a kid who I think is starting to make some noise, and I've called all of his fights, so I might be a little bit biased, is 21-year-old Ruben Torres, our main event tonight. And I see him knock people out, but let me remove myself. What's the word on Ruben Torres?
Well, I'm excited like you are to see him now, and he is a likable kid and a good kid, but most of all, he's an undefeated kid with a big knockout record. But what you're referring to, people are starting to talk about him. I was in Vegas. I've been in Vegas all week for the Tyson Fury build-up with Deontay Wilder. So there's a big collection of people in the press room, hundreds of people in the press. And
from all over the world, too.
That's right. And on several occasions this week, people have come up to me. We talked about Thompson Boxing, and they said, oh, yeah, that kid, Ruben Torres, I've been seeing him. I'm hearing about him. I'm hearing good things about him. So what you have here is a kid who's generating buzz, and that's always a good thing.
Generating buzz, and if you know anything about Thompson Boxing, you get matched up. You got to earn your way through it. So we have 6 fights coming your way. It's the first fight of the year for the Thompson Boxing fighters. Richard Brewer will be coming on. Isaac Zarate's younger brother, Ivan Zarate, will be our opening bout. Sal Sanchez and Tito Sanchez, who are trained by Joel Diaz. So we have them coming your way, and then the main event will be Ruben Torres. And now I'd like to mention that we're bringing in somebody else to the team.
Yeah.
We continue to grow. Doug Fisher's part of the crew, Rich Murata's part of the crew, and tonight we welcome one of the best reporters in all of sports and all the business, Jessica Rosales, who's at our news desk. Jess?
All right, guys, when it is 20 years, you've got to celebrate with some new elements, and that's why we've brought in this features desk. Now, there's a lot of history that's happened in the last 20 years, and how cool is it to say 20 years in 2020? Now, speaking of history, this room has seen a lot of it, and this is where the story for Thompson Boxing has actually started. Now, their very first show was in this exact location back in May of 2000. Now, they decided this would be their home base because they knew how large the boxing fan base was in the Inland Empire. And not only that, but a lot of their fighters were from the area, so they had to find a room big enough to fit all of the fans inside, and they said, you know what, this is the place where we're going to bring it to. Now, in the last 20 years, they've had close to 200 fights in this room alone, probably more than 100 in other locations, and what started as just 4 fights a year has turned into no less than 14 fights annually in California alone. Now that's a lot of fights and a lot of history in the last 20 years. So of course, you know, Thompson Boxing has had their hand in a lot of world champions as well. Many names that you guys have recognized. Now some of the people that have come through here include Timothy Bradley. We've also got Yanni Perez, Darley Perez, Jonathan Momo Romero, and of course their latest champion, Danny Roman. But of course, it's not just them. We've seen a lot of other names come through here, names that you guys will recognize, including Chris Arreola, also the Riverside Rocky Josecito Lopez, and of course El Maestro, we've seen Mauricio Herrera. Now all of those guys have helped pave the way for the next generation that is coming through here. A lot of fighters that you'll be seeing on tonight's card, a lot of those new prospects that are up and coming. But not only will you guys be seeing them in the ring, one of the cool things about this feature desk is we'll be taking some of those up and coming stars and bringing them to you right here with me, doing one-on-one interviews. And tonight in this broadcast, we are going to have Danny Roman sitting with us here today, and of course we're going to have Salinas' very own undefeated Ruben Villa. He'll also be here as well. Now I know that you guys are all ready to get the boxing action started underway, so what we're going to do right now is check in with our guy Sonny Franco, who is inside the ring right now. So Sonny, we'll send it to you.
What say you, Ontario, California? Are you ready to have a good time tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Thompson Boxing Promotions, we'd like to welcome you to the Doubletree Hotel for the 20th anniversary of the Path to Glory. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some fighters that have trained hard to be here. They've trained to be here, and you've paid to see them lay it all on the line right here inside the ring. And with that being said, there's only one question left to ask, and that is, Ontario, are you ready? Without further delay, let's get the action underway. Please welcome out of the red corner from Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico. Here is Ulises Duende Gabriel.
El Duende, coming from Tijuana, Mexico. He's 0-1. Ready to rock it.
Now, you know, he fought that fight, that 0-1 2 years ago. And if you take a look at him as he walks in, you can see he's not especially cut, you know, as physically. Yeah. But he weighs 121 pounds. Now think of this, Beto. For his pro debut 2 years ago that he lost, he weighed 143. Hey, 22 pounds more than he is carrying into the ring tonight. But he's been working. At least he's a little more serious about it.
He's been working. He's been working.
And now please welcome his opponent, making his way to the ring on the blue corner from San Pedro, California. Here is Ivan Totito Zarate.
It's Torito, not the restaurant. Ivan Zarate, little bull from San Pedro, California, younger brother of Isaac Zarate, who's fought a bunch on the Thompson shows.
And he made his pro debut on a Thompson show as well. That was in October of 2019, and he was a winner in that one. So we've got a 1-0 fighter against an 0-1 fighter. We'll see how it turns out. He looks anxious to get into that ring, though. He's moving at a pretty good clip to get in there.
Yes, he is. El Sinaloense, Juan Gabriel is the song that he's coming into.
Buenas noches, y damas y caballeros, y bienvenidos. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans joining us around the world on ThompsonBoxing.com. We're coming to you from the Doubletree Hotel here in the beautiful city of Ontario, California, where tonight, Thompson Boxing Promotions is proud to present the 20th anniversary. This is the Path to Glory. We begin tonight's event with the first bout of the evening, scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the Super Bantamweight division. At ringside, your three judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Raul Caiz Jr. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Sr. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the gray trunks with black. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 121.1 ready pounds. As a professional, his record stands 0 wins against 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico, introducing Ulises Duende Gabriel. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He stepped in the ring tonight wearing the black and gold trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 121.7 pounds. As a professional, he enters the ring tonight undefeated. 1 win with 0 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, from San Pedro, California, introducing Ivan Totito Zarate. Once again, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Sr., to give the final instructions.
Raul Caiz Sr., the third man in the ring. Let's look at the tail of the tape, Rich Marauder.
And you can see that Gabriel is facing a height and reach disadvantage that could prove quite telling in this fight tonight. But we'll see if the 22 pounds less than he weighed the last time will be an advantage for him.
And shout out to all the boxers who are in the back in the locker room watching the stream right now. We got 5 more fights coming your way. So the first bout of 2020 for Thompson Boxing, his 20th anniversary, is underway. Carlos Bowie, what's happening? Macrina Ramirez, everybody shouting out their fighters. Carlos Gonzalez, what's up, Carlos Gonzalez? How you doing? And we do read everything you guys have. Zarate in the black and gold, the orthodox fighter.
And he gets a little experience here tonight facing a southpaw. Always good. I'm always in favor of, even though it may make you look or make your fighter look a little bad at times when you're facing a southpaw, that you go in and face all styles. And you face tall, short, left-handers, right-handers, punchers, boxers.
You got to do it eventually. You can hear the thud on the punches from Isaac Zarate as he goes upstairs early here. Sorry, Ivan Zarate. And he's launching them.
You are exactly right. I'm telling you, sometimes just by the sound of fighters, you can tell who's got heavy hands. And Ivan looked like he has pretty heavy hands.
Yeah.
Or at least he sounds like he has heavy hands.
I know we got new ring dressing here, but we get new microphones too, because these are picking up everything right now. Ivan Zarate, Torito, bouncing around in the black and gold. Trains at Maywood Boxing in Southern California. And he will switch from southpaw to orthodox. And it was a clash of heads. So Ivan, you'll see him right now, right-handed. And then he'll quickly switch to the right. Francisco Salazar, excellent boxing scribe and boxing soccer coach in the 805. David MT watching us in Canada. No, you're not. Where? Halifax? Montreal? Quebec?
Zarate out of San Pedro, which used to produce quite a few really good fighters. Fighters who down there in those days would be working, back in the 60s, 70s, be working on the docks.
I'm going to throw a name at you, Rich. I'm going to throw a name at you.
All right.
He's a longshoreman right now, Joey Urbino.
Joey Urbino is one of my faves, great heavyweight, and who was in the Star in the 60s and 70s, fought a lot at the Olympic Auditorium, eventually fought Jerry Quarry in what was a big, big local fight.
And David MT is watching us in Halifax, he said. Nova Scotia checking in here at Thompson Boxing. Only a second pro fight, and Ivan is not trying to go 4 rounds, does it look like?
And in the case here of his opponent tonight, Gabriel, just trying to feel comfortable, I think, and get comfortable because he hasn't fought in 2 years. that indicated a little rustiness.
5 fights coming your way. After this, it'll be Richard Brewer, Jose Sanchez, Sal Sanchez, George Acosta, Ruben Torres, and a crowd of people to get in. Now that is online. Our camera crew working around. In the corner of Ivan Zarate, his trainer also trains Danny Roman, who lost his belt the Super Bowl week in Miami to a tough fighter.
Anxious to hear from Danny tonight. That was a heartbreaker that he suffered in that last title fight. Wow, and it was very, very close. That's tough for a kid of his talent, to swallow.
We'll be talking to him, especially with Jessica Rosales at the news desk later on in the broadcast.
Which I think that's why all of those boxers in the back are watching the stream tonight.
Yeah.
It's because Jessica has joined us
They
on
know.
the telecast tonight.
They finally get a professional in here. Doubling up the right hand, Ivan Zarate. Brother walked out with him. Daniel Ochoa watching us in Blythe, California, home of Andrew Cancio. A lot of people driving the spring training. You're going to go right through Blythe, on the Arizona-California border. Beto Duran, Rich Murata. You guys have questions for the one and only Rich Murata, Boxing Rich on Twitter? You don't have to tweet him. You can just type it up here right now and I'll read it to him. President of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, a must-see, must-visit.
Thank you for that. Yes, we had a group out there from a local elementary school, 50 strong today, out there in the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Kids came in, got in the ring, punched the bags, and enjoyed themselves. Well, now Zarate loading up.
On the ropes, the fighter from Tijuana answers with a check right.
Gabriel had just enough of that and decided he was going to answer back. And he punched his way off of those ropes. Good for him.
Jonathan Alvarado, tu primo, El Duende from Tijuana. He's in all black. Ruben Torres is the main event tonight. 5 more fights on the show. Cutman Big Serge Estrada. What country are you in, Serge? I know if you're watching this. Because if you're not here, you're working somewhere.
Zarate, after that last assault, looks to be taking just a bit of a breather here right now.
That's what happens. The reason that these young fighters are only scheduled for 4 rounds is because they have to learn how to be a pro, right?
That's right, and you have to learn how to pace yourself.
Thudding shot from Zarate.
Zarate is winning this fight, but he is getting caught at times too, so they'll see some things when they look at the tape of this. They need a little fine-tuning defensively.
Our cutman friend Sergio Estrada is watching in Minnesota. He's working MMA tomorrow. So we got Halifax checking in, Minnesota, Blythe.
Do you think there's spillover now, Beto, in the audiences for MMA and boxing?
I think if you're a fight fan, you're a fight fan.
Combat fan?
Yeah. I think you're going to have your casual fan in one sport and a hardcore in the other. No, that is not Sean O'Grady, Tommy Corsi. That is Rich Murata, and I'm Beto Duran.
I worked many years with Sean O'Grady, though, doing the Sunday night fights on Fox.
Sunday night.
The champ as we call him.
Thompson Boxing with new swag. We got backpacks, we got stickers, got new shirts, got hats. Don't give them all away, Jeanette. Justin Boulder saying Fury has got everybody hyped up for this weekend. Now, you were in Vegas all week.
Right.
You're going back tomorrow morning.
Right.
I was just watching on social media. It feels like a big buzz.
Hey, let me tell you something. This fight really has electricity. I've been to a lot of so-called big fights in recent years, and it's been a while since I felt the electricity such as that is present in Vegas this week and around that MGM Grand for this one tomorrow night. I am really looking forward to seeing what transpires.
And this is, like I was telling you at lunch today, where my casual sports friends are saying, hey, who's watching the fight tomorrow? I'm like, wait a minute, I worked boxing for 6 years. You've never even asked where I'm working. Now you're into this. So it's pretty cool to see for the sport and the buzz and the exposure they're getting. And yes, believe it or not, on this broadcast, we actually talk about other fights. It's okay.
That's right. Well, you know, in that big fight tomorrow night at the MGM Grand, two things have helped lead it to it. One is a guy who was a knockout puncher par excellence and Wilder, and the other guy's a big personality.
Oh.
Personality and punching. How can you miss in that regard?
Monchu 2 says, I'm here, Beto. Bellator tried to trick him, but I'm here. What's up? Tommy Corsi says, Fury gets KO'd. Ezequiel Hernandez le va a Iván. Ismael Lara, vamos a Duende. So you got Gabriel's family checking in on the Facebook.
Really? Good.
It's the cool thing about this. You can watch everybody. Now in this day and age, if your fight's not shown somewhere, what are you doing wrong, promoters?
Well, it's like you said on our pre-fight comments. You might know a fighter. In that case, they might know a fighter. The fighter who's in the ring right now.
Eric Duarte, what's happening, man? How you doing? Markel Lee, Fury will beat Deontay Wilder by decision. David NT, Fury wins tomorrow. Jonathan Alvarado in Guadalajara. And everybody's opinions on Fury and Wilder all over the place. And that's good.
Nothing wrong with that. This looks like a 50-50 fight, at least in terms of the predictions of people going in. And the betting line is close to that.
That's what I was looking at. The betting lines, like for a knockout, are completely coming down now. Elisa Castillo, Gabino Cota va a ser la titular, que sí, como una hora. Zarate came out strong in the opening round, loading up on shots. Now you got a box. And this is the beauty of a club show, where you got, like at Thompson, you got to earn your way through the rounds. You see Zarate landing shots, but a tough Ulises Gabriel wearing them. Because a fighter who comes in and knocks you out in the first round with 30 seconds, what do you really learn from that?
Well, not much really, other than you know, a guy sometimes is going to fall down when you pop him one. But this is a good learning experience right here for Zarate. He's got a guy who's in there trying hard, punching back, as you see right there.
Yep. 3 rounds in the books. Ali Zarate in San Pedro. Coming up next, Richard Brewer, who injured his hand last year, a torn ligament, shut him down for the rest of the year, against veteran Eric Martinez. Rich, our friend Francisco Salazar wants to know, were you ringside in Temecula when Nate Campbell was knocked out by Robbie Peden in 2004?
I was not. I was not. I have been to a few in Temecula and enjoyed those fights out there, but I was not. I liked both of those guys, Robbie Peden.
He says Peden was dropping his hands and daring, or was daring Peden to hit him. Campbell was dropping his hands.
And he hit him.
He hit him. 4th and final round of our opening bout. Thank you for joining us. Ivan Zarate in the black and gold from San Pedro.
And it does verify your good feelings about the real boxing writers who watch shows like this, like Francisco Salazar. I know.
Zarate digging. He has a big crowd. You're going to hear the oohs and ahs. Razo checking in. Send it.
I have liked the way that Zarate has attacked to the body here tonight.
Well, when you train at Maywood Boxing, the sparring might as well be a brawl at times. You got to earn your way out of that gym. And that's another thing. These young fighters who get out of their comfort zone and go spar at some of the better gyms, it only makes you better.
And you mentioned Maywood. You know who took me over to Maywood Gym one day just to have a look? Was Gennaro Hernandez.
The late, great Chicanito?
Yes, and whose brother, Rudy, by the way, is here tonight. And Gennaro took me in there, and just what you were talking about, I was really impressed just with the whole atmosphere and what was going on in that gym that day.
Brother Rudy will be working cuts for George Acosta in the co-main tonight, and then he's on his way to Vegas to work cuts for Charles Martin tomorrow night. And Martin and Gerald Washington will go at it before Fury and Wilder. Jessica Esquivel watching in Indiana, all right, for teams that out there. Zarate, San Pedro High.
You know, Zarate is interesting because he will initiate body punching from the outside. He'll walk in and be punching to the body from outside. He doesn't wait to get inside before he initiates a body attack.
Liz Rodriguez checking in. Girls' night out, forget that. Let's watch the boxing on Friday night in Ontario. Digging in is Zarate again. Cuñado number 1, checking in for Jessica Rosales. Everybody wants to see Jessica Rosales. You'll see her soon.
And yes, she was eating nachos.
Yeah, she was. Tommy, we got you. Tommy Kursin, where are you watching this fight at? Tijuana fighter said his hippie lobe in the belt. Calif Sr. says, keep going. Keep your hands up, young man.
You can't wait for the referee to do something and stop fighting. And look at he's really maintaining.
He's saying he's hurt, but Calif said, no, let's go. Final seconds of the fight. Our opening bout of 2020, a good one between Isaac Zarate and Ulises Gabriel.
Yeah, good bout and a good work rate, I thought, by both fighters here tonight, especially Zarate, who threw a lot of punches. I mean, he just threw a ton of punches.
Jose Monchis, what's happening? Saludos. Our man Tommy Corsi is in Seattle, Washington. Justin Boulder bringing up James Toney. So a good opening bout. Janita Lima checking out San Pedro, so everybody needs to go to Granny's Donuts. Or you guys are gonna go to Busy Bee, hook up Isaac and Ivan Zarate. Coming up next will be Richard Brewer and Eric Martinez. Martinez, a veteran.
We got a lot of that tonight. Young fighters fighting guys with a lot of experience.
Beto Duran, Rich Murata, Boxing Rich, where you can follow him on Twitter, the president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. And Rich, when you think about a club show like Thompson Boxing in its 20th year, we mentioned in the open, everybody thinks they can be a promoter, and then
it's, let me tell you, it is really one of the hardest jobs in the world. You know, if things just don't go the way that you plan necessarily, you know. Fighters drop out, last minute contract squabbles, you can't get the right opponents to make the good fights. It is not an easy profession.
Well, as Javier Razo, a matchmaker, Golden Boy, he's on the stream watching us right now, and I don't know how many times I've been around him, and this is for a major show, and all of a sudden the fighter just didn't get on the plane showing up. And on a club level, if you lose a fight, that's huge, because these young fighters, like a fighter like Ivan Zarate, are selling tickets. They get a cut of it. It becomes a business for these young guys.
Well, there was actually a fighter scheduled to fight here tonight who 2 days ago was in the hotel and just suddenly wasn't in the hotel anymore.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, he was at the hotel?
He was at the hotel, yes.
Oh, I thought he never showed up. He came to the hotel.
He was here.
And he never got here. Oh, my goodness.
All of a sudden, they couldn't find him anymore.
As long as Sonny Frankl shows up, we're good.
And Raul Pace, the junior, also about the same, 40-36, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated from Sacramento, California, Ivan Zarate.
Ivan Zarate improves it 2-0, goes the distance. 4 good quality rounds. And Jonathan Esteves, I'm going to get you. San Pedro. That's how the locals say it, right? On Gaffey, on Western, on Pacific. I don't know what to say. He went to Park Western Elementary. I did the research. I know what's happening over there, and we're going to go to Busy Bee. Like I said it, he's not a longshoreman, though. He's not, but he is now 2-0. Ivan Zarate and Ulises Gabriel. Not a bad outing from the young man from Tijuana.
Right, hadn't fought for 2 years, gets back in there and obviously did better than he did the first time around, and maybe will feel encouraged to try to return again. Lose another 20 pounds and the...
So 5 more fights coming your way. Richard Brewer is next, and after that, Tito Sanchez and Sal Sanchez, both trained by Joel Diaz. Then Yuyu Acosta, the co-main, and then the main event, Ruben Torres. We were talking about this, about the club show. Thompson Boxing in his 20th year of business. We're at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. And how does this work? This show, this broadcast is on Facebook exclusively for you, the fans. We interact with you. Whatever comment you guys have, look, I'm reading all of them. I see them all. Thanks for the nice compliments. And yes, I did get a haircut yesterday. Rich too.
Yeah, I got a haircut, but it was 20 years ago.
So this is your show. You can see it. We're going to be broadcasting in a different way, where if the action is low, I'm going to go and lean on Rich's expertise of seeing fights at the Forum, the Tuesday night fights. We can educate you. We can school you. You can have a conversation with Rich just as much as I want to know about what's going on in the boxing world. I'm going to ask Rich. So this is your show. Interact with us right now. And right now, look at Sonny Frankl's jacket. My goodness.
Please welcome on the red corner from Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico. Here is Eric Martinez.
A veteran of 30 fights, Eric Martinez from Tijuana, Mexico. This is the dude who has gloves, will travel, let's go.
And he was the one who came in here like 24 hours ago.
Yep.
The fight was made, I think, about 36 hours ago after the opponent for Brewer just disappeared. But like you say, have gloves, will travel. Guys like this, of course, they're very important to the sport of boxing. A promoter calls them up, they'll show up.
Stay ready.
And usually they'll get into that ring and give a very honest effort.
Roman Ramirez watching in Hawaii. Rich Celaya in Baldwin Park. Actually stopped there yesterday in and out.
Bring out the blue corner from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Here is Richard Brewer.
Cool breeze, Richard Brewer. He's undefeated, 6-0.
Dig that nickname.
Yeah, smooth. And that's his style. Nice kid, got to know him a little bit. Henry Ramirez, you know he used to train Chris Arreola.
All right. Let me tell you, he's got the matinee good looks too.
Yeah. Brewer, about 15 minutes away from where we are right now. Coming in. Vince Guillen checking in East LA. Brewer coming in with some Nate Dogg. You can hear the crowd for him. David Velasco in Toluca, Mexico watching us. What's happening? Aldo Aguilar says, hey, Rich.
All right.
The Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. Thompson Boxing Promotions continues on with the next bout of the evening. Scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the super middleweight division. At ringside, your three judges courtround shoot a golden distance are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Raul Pace Sr. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Rudy Bergan. Fighters, here we go. Introducing first, fighting on the red corner. He stepped to the ring tonight wearing the black trunks. When he stepped up to the scale, he went officially at 164 pounds even. As professional, his record stands 14 victories against 15 defeats with 1 bout even. 8 of his victories come to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico, introducing Eric Martinez. Fighting across the ring in the blue corner. He stepped in the ring tonight wearing the white and gold trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed officially at 157.7 pounds. Tonight, he stepped into the ring undefeated. 6 victories with 0 losses. 2 of his victories come to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Rancho Cucamonga, California, here is the hard-hitting Richard Brewer. Once again, your referee in charge, Ruben Torres, to give the final instructions.
Get ready for our second bout of the night. Look at the tail of the tape there, Rich Murata.
All right, and the thing to take a look at right here is a 7-pound weight pull for Eric Martinez, but despite that, he is 2 inches shorter, and he's given up an inch in reach as well.
Richard Brewer, cool breeze from Rancho Cucamonga. Saw his mom. She's like, remember me? I'm like, yes, young lady, I've seen you every fight. Super cool, big supportive family. And it's Rudy Barragan in the ring, the third man. Cool breeze, 6-0, 2 KOs. Trains with Henry Ramirez at Raincross Boxing. Brewer has some heavy hands.
And I'll tell you, he comes out punching despite having suffered that injury that you were talking about, him waiting to see how he recovers from it here tonight and how he reacts to it, but he's come out punching.
He had a torn ligament at the base of his palm. That's what held him out at the end of last year. He had a couple fights lined up. They said, you know what, shut you down, make sure that that ligament heals correctly, had surgery. Here he is in his first fight of 2020, and he has a lot of cousins just popping up on the Facebook page right now.
And it sounds like he sold a lot of tickets tonight.
Yes, he did.
Mixing it up with a good attack so far, body and head. But he has not fought in 8 months, so anxious to see if he's a little rusty, because prior to that, he was extremely active. He fought 6 times in less than a year, and then boom, all of a sudden he's got an 8-month layoff.
Shout out to Chris Bieszad. I hope I'm saying your name right. B-I-E-S-Z-A-D. A good follow on Boxing Twitter. Streams a lot. Thanks a lot. Out of Corpus Christi, Texas. I've been there for a couple fights. Appreciate you coming in. Excellent follow. He and Tim Hawk give you all the boxing streams. And Chris, the first fight, it was 40-36 all the way with Ivan Zarate. Body shots from Brewer. Tommy Corsi, you do notice those are basketball trunks from Martinez. Tell you, when you get called last second, show up. But 14, 15, and 1 is Martinez.
Right, and that adds up to 30 fights. So Brewer certainly the favorite here, but he's fighting a 30-fight veteran, who, by the way, once had a pretty glittering record before he tried to step up in class, and then when he did that and then started going to everybody's hometown, that record tends to suffer, and it certainly did in his case.
Their second bout, 6 of them total here. At the Doubletree in Ontario, Justin Boulder, sharing it in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I ordered a beer and the bartender said, you have to have a Scheiderbach, and you need a shot with it. I said, yes, sir, I'm not going to complain with you.
Done some fights in Corpus Christi. It's actually a good fight town.
It is a good fight town. That's the first time I ever saw Whitecaps. And Brewer digging to the body.
I think it's an impressive first round here for
Yes,
Richard.
he is.
Yes, he's bounced back from his layoff very well, at least in this first round. We'll see how his stamina is, though, as the fight goes on.
Corpus Christi, I worked the Jerry Belmonte's fight. That's who was working. And that is Tito Sanchez. Warming up, he's up next against Luis Montellano. Montellano, good fighter. Ugly record, but we'll give you a battle. That's coming up next, 126 pounds coming your way. Monchu second. That's some funny comments. Wish she's had swim trunks with those body shots. There you go. Aaliyah Blanco, let's go Richard.
Is he referring to Brewer or me?
No. You're just boxing rich. Adrian Sandoval checking us out. UCLA and Stanford grad. So the smart people are checking in. And what's up with those nopales on the header, right? That's what's up.
Want to throw a shout out to your other partner, Doug Fisher, who's in Vegas at the Fury Wilder fight tonight.
Yeah,
and
what'd you do to him?
he's sick. He's a little under the weather. I hate to tell everybody, but I'm sure he'll be watching tonight.
Second round, this was scheduled for 4. Thunder Elizalde, Corpus Christi legend. Brewer, strong right. Rocks Martinez. Overhand right from Martinez. I have a feeling Martinez is looking for one shot, right?
Brewer does have to watch that because he's got a cute little style, but he drops that left hand down sometimes, and he got nailed because of it.
And we're right next to the corner of Martinez where they're telling him, let it go, let it go. And when you have 30 fights under your belt, you can learn something along the ways.
Yeah, he knows his way around the ring for sure.
They also know how to survive. And he's talking to Brewer right now. They're like, come on. Covering up is Martinez, shaking his head, nothing. Who's in Australia, Gavin? Where are you at? You see Martinez. Well, this guy 2 days ago was doing nothing. So he had to lose some pounds, had to go get the medicals done, which is nothing new. The guys like Martinez and Montiano are the backbone of boxing. You need them to give young fighters like Brewer experience. But then they come in and just make it ugly. But which is good for a young fighter to learn the frustration now instead of in a championship fight.
Yeah, guys like Brewer, sometimes they'll fight a guy like this, they hit him at best shot, and then he just come right back and just stare at him. I mean, he hit him a good crossing right there. And Martinez just took it like it was nothing.
Less than 30 seconds ago in the second round. And Martinez just has a smirk on his face because he's deflecting some of the shots. They're not landing flush. But he's not throwing anything back.
But they are kind of eye-catching shots that Brewer
Yes, they are. You see something behind it. Why Henry Ramirez, his trainer, likes what he has in young Richard Brewer. You're right, Monchu. You got to give props to guys like Martinez for stepping up on short notice. But Rich, how many of those guys have you seen over the years where they're sparring one day and then somebody calls the gym? Anybody? Anybody? Can you make 160?
Thompson Boxing Promotions like to welcome you to the 20th anniversary edition of the Path to Glory. We're so excited you could be here this evening. We got some more great fights coming your way. We got some giveaways coming up. But right now, we're about ready to get back to this action. Once again, Ontario, California. We're so glad you could be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sonny Franco. Got to give you your shine. Brewer?
How about that jacket Sonny's wearing?
Oh,
tonight,
my
huh?
goodness. You know,
Come on.
in my third season with Thompson Boxing, I've never seen Sonny wear the same thing twice. Tommy Corse, why should I remember the name Joel Flores? More details, please. Gavin says, Brewer likes what he sees in the shot selection. Smart, you're right. Henry Ramirez said he likes what he has in Brewer because he thinks, hence the nickname Cool Breeze, where he's not rushing. Randy Silguero, you gotta come to Thompson Boxing. Go and check out the social media. We're in Ontario 10 times this year. It's a cool vibe, standing room only crowd tonight.
And by the way, the schedule is set. The dates are in. You can find out what the dates are, so you can plan months in advance if you want to come to Thompson Boxing show here in Ontario.
Tommy, but the details, like what weight, what's her record, how old is she?
Brewer has gotten a lot of mileage tonight out of right hooks to the body.
Maybe a couple more combinations, a little bit more. So you'll throw the 1-2, 1-2.
He keeps it at long range though. I wonder what he could do inside. Not quite sure. Oh boy.
Uppercut. That was right on the bridge. That nose might be busted because it is pouring blood. It was an uppercut.
No, he's not going to get up.
Yep. And he busted that nose, Rich.
I think you're right. And you saw the delayed reaction. When happens like that, you get hit in the nose sometimes. You don't have the reaction for another a second or two.
Yep. And Martinez was taking the shots, but that uppercut split the guard, and the blood just gushed out of the nose of Eric Martinez. So a third round stoppage for Richard Brewer in his first fight of 2020.
I think Martinez had his mind made up by the count of 4 that he wasn't getting up.
Yeah.
You know, physically he could have gotten up, but that pain from a broken nose, when you take a shot like that, is pretty intense.
Yeah, he stood up, hugged Brewer, and went right back to the stool. Like, and that's the veteran right there. Like, okay, let's look at the replays on this, Rich.
Okay, you see kind of the varied attack that Brewer was displaying here tonight. There's the right uppercut. See to the nose. And look at the delayed reaction. Look how you'll see it come a good second or so afterward, after the punch. Bang, down he goes. And right here, he takes a look at the blood and goes, I think that's it.
And fighters like Martinez don't stop unless something like that happens. Cool Breeze.
Yeah, that's a very successful return, I think, for Cool Breeze here tonight. I thought he looked good in there. You know, he wasn't showing any ring rust at all, even though it was his first fight in 8 months after fighting 6 times in the previous 10 months. And he just did real well. He worked his way around the ring real good. He showed a varied attack, nice jab, and some power punching, obviously, to finish.
Our next bout coming up will be Jose Tito Sanchez against Luis Montellano. And Mike Seal, I see you writing SMH. Don't trip. Montellano is a tough out. He gives everybody fits. So don't let the full record fool you here on Thompson Boxing. Sonny Frankl, my goodness, that jacket is shining.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes. 1 minute, 36 seconds of the third round. Referee Rudy Benegan puts a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by way of a knockout and still undefeated from Rancho Cucamonga, California, Richard Brewer.
He's now 7-0, his third stoppage. Richard Cool Breeze Brewer, first fight of 2020. A good one. Took his time, Rich.
Yep.
I think you like what you saw from him.
I did indeed. I was impressed with what he gave here tonight, and I think you're right about one thing. He waited until he made sure that he was ready to come back into the ring, make sure his injury was healed. When he came out, he had guns blazing here tonight. He had his full arsenal.
Yeah, his body shots were good, and then he was able to work on things.
Right. So he's got a future now, and you know, you would think, from judging from that shot and some of the power that he showed tonight, that his knockout record would be better. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets better, you know, as he moves along.
As he gets that man strength, right?
Yeah.
As he continues to go. So Richard Brewer gets the victory tonight, a third round stoppage. 4 more fights coming your way. But before we go on the show, Jessica Rosales is on our news desk. What's going on, Jess?
All right, you guys, joining us now, we've got Ruben Villa. And I'm going to tell you right now, I might need a co-host, because when he walked up, he loved the desk. Yeah. How impressive is it that we got this here now?
It's pretty cool. When I was fighting here, I didn't have no desk. I didn't have no ring entrance, everything just looked beautiful. And, I wish I was here a little longer.
Hey, you know what? 20 years, we got to step it up over here. But of course, Ruben Villa from Salinas, undefeated. But the one thing that I noticed about your Twitter, because it's my job to monitor what you're putting out there, is you tweeted out the rankings, recently ranked. Tell me about that, when you found out about it, and of course, how you're feeling after all that.
I was honestly pretty shocked. I feel like I've been a little slept on, and my last few performances, they've been, spectacular. So, where great performances come, the better things. So we're just stepping it up once at a time.
Talking about that last performance, a lot of people said that was probably the best you've looked in your entire career. Do you agree with that? And what was the difference in that fight?
As far as boxing, fighting, it's really hard to, do what you do in the gym. So I know I'm much better than that, but as far as, showing it in TV and a big, national platform, it could have been my best, but I know I got much more to give.
Of course, as we mentioned, we are celebrating 20 years of Thompson Boxing, and your first fight was right here inside this exact same venue. First, let's talk about the atmosphere here, because it is a fun time here. It's like a party.
Exactly, like you said, it's like a party. There's regulars here who come and, remember me, and I talk to them like we're friends or, uncles. So, everything's just blowing up for Thompson, and, I'm happy to be a part of it.
That's right, 20 years, and of course, 20 years accounting, and hopefully many, many more years to come. Now, one thing I got to ask you before we let you go, out of all the rankings, the one that really stood out to me, Sam Garcia, saying you're #1 in his heart. So how about a shout out to everybody at home in Salinas right now?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone who's watching, Sam, my team, Salinas, we're still moving up, and we got a lot to come.
All right, guys. Ruben Villa, thank you so much for the time. Already in the gym training, right?
Yep, exactly. I took a week off, and I'm back in.
And you boxers, you guys like to get right back into it.
Yeah, we got it. I don't want to lose anything, so, I got to stay in it.
Well, we're going to let you get off to watch the rest of these fights. But right now in the ring, we've got Sonny Frankl, and he is ready for the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the red corner from Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico. Here is Luis Montellano.
Luis Montellano coming in. Cañitas is his nickname. The song's playing. All we need is a fighter. Lionel Duran, what's happening? No relation. Checking in the Saddler Bowl 559. So we go and check everybody out. Let's see what you guys are saying on here. There he is. I mean, if you want to have a fighter, sure. Hey, but I like the fact that he realizes, hey, I made everybody wait. Let me run through. Welcome to a club show, baby. Thompson Boxing, Viktor Duran, Rich Murata, and Jessica Rosales, California, running the way. Joe Pahar and everybody else involved with you guys. I mean, I'm shazamming the song. It's called De Nada by Beto Castillo. No relation.
We had a little style getting into the ring there.
Hey, I told you, you might be 1-6, but this guy's got some flow.
Diving a little, yeah.
Sergio Surge.
And now please welcome his opponent, making his way to the ring out of the blue corner from Cathedral City, California. Here is Jose Tito Sanchez.
Tito Sanchez decides to use some Vicente Fernandez, El Palenque. Then you see Joel Diaz in all black, rocking the Nike because she is sponsored. Size 12, Joel. Antonio Diaz right behind him in the red vest. Joey Cuevas in Evansville, Indiana.
I think this is a kid that Thompson Boxing and other people are keeping a close eye on.
Yep, recently started working with him. Tito Sanchez, 126-pounder. After this, Sal Sanchez and George Acosta and Ruben Torres.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and fight fans joining us around the world on ThompsonBoxing.com. We're coming to you from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. Thompson Boxing Promotions continues the action with the next bout of the evening, scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the featherweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout, should it go the distance, are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Rudy Bergan. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Raul Caiz Jr. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring tonight wearing the black trunks with blue. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 126.8 already pounds. As a professional, he has 9 fights to his credit, including 1 victory against 6 defeats with 2 bouts even. One of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico, introducing Luis Montellano. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He steps to the ring tonight with the white trunks with gold. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in at a ready 127 pounds even. As a professional, he steps in the ring tonight undefeated. 5 wins with 0 losses. 4 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the fighting pride of Cathedral City, California, introducing Jose Tito Sanchez. Once again, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Jr., to the final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, you see the instructions in the dressing room. Know what I expect? A good, clean fight. Ya hicieron las instrucciones para la pelea limpia. Legal punches son legales here for you. Legal punches here for you. Touch those get told you. That's it.
This is actually a rematch. These two fought in July of last year. And Sanchez, who you see there, and you take a look at the tail of the tape, at a severe reach disadvantage and height disadvantage in this fight, but it was Sanchez who won that first fight by KO. But Montellano wanted another chance, and he gets it here tonight.
And Montellano had a very minimal amateur background. Rich, he's learning how to box as a professional.
That is a tough way to do it.
So I saw him like getting his hands up. I'm like, you again? He's like, yeah, you know, this is fun. He's like, I've gotten better. I'm actually training full time now.
Well, it's on the job training for him here in the ring. He's got a big hands high style southpaw. We'll see if Tito can solve him again.
Tito Sanchez from Cathedral City. Now, his first couple fights were with a different trainer. The third one, he decided to mix it up, and he joined Joel Antonio Diaz in the Coachella Valley. So they know each other from the amateur days. You have Cathedral City, you have Coachella, you have Indio, you have Lee Espinoza with the Coachella Boys and Girls Club, Joel Antonio with the Indio Boys and Girls Club, and they all go to that Desert Showdown, that big tournament out there. So it's a hotbed where they all know each other.
Montellano today was described on Twitter by a Twitter follower named Linus Esquire.
Oh, our man Linus.
What he said, Luis Montellano is one of my favorite ignore the record fighters.
Yeah, Linus Esquire, a man in Philadelphia, just tweets right now, got to respect this kid. The record doesn't reflect every time out. You get the effort from him. Linus, a great boxing scribe.
And you know how that's true? Because Montellano has fought 3 or 4 times here on these Thompson Boxing cards. He's lost the fights, but they keep bringing him back because the fans are satisfied with his effort, and he does give a good performance, a good show.
And when you've seen somebody before, and this happens more often than you think in the club scene, where you'll beat somebody, then a year later you're fighting them, whether it's a replacement or just because of the development, it's a different attitude.
And Montellano, I think he feels that, hey, I'm ready this time around. because I have been training and I have been learning and developing, and maybe I can pull it off this time.
Yeah, and it was what? You mentioned it. Sanchez's second pro fight, Rich, when they fought?
It was 2 fights ago. He was actually, Sanchez was 3-0 at the time.
And speaking with Joel Antonio, they like the development of Tito Sanchez as a professional, because now that he's in their gym, it's a bevy of sparring that he's getting. He sparred with the man MJ, who just beat Danny Roman for the title. He was one of the main sparring partners from him.
Boy, that's invaluable stuff, Beto.
Gabriela Avila, saludos. Solid shot landed by Tito in the white.
It says Canitas in the back of the trunk. So I thought it said Carnitas.
No, not Carnitas. And there's our fancy desk right there, all lit up. No, it hasn't been drinking, it's just the lights. Looks pretty good. Speaking of drinks, anybody can deliver a drink over here, man? Come on now. As we're looking at the corner of Tito Sanchez, our man Jack Reese is watching.
Really, Jack, real estate man.
Real estate. We're not the referee right now. If you need to buy a home in Southern California, and if you got money from Montecito and Santa Barbara, man, Jack Reese will take you. Jack, I heard you on that podcast explaining how and why you stopped your last fight. Excellent job by you explaining it. Really enlightening. Always a pleasure to talk to Jack Reese, one of the best referees out there. Noel Valdivia in Tijuana. Saludos. This was scheduled for 4 rounds. After this, it'll be Sal Sanchez at 118, then Yuyu Acosta in the main event, Ruben Torres. And the thing that I noticed about Montellano here in his 10th pro fight is that he's filling out into his weight, eating properly, training fully. Manchu.
It's hard to believe he's only won 1 out of 9 fights from what I'm seeing.
But he's also been that guy who will take a fight anywhere you want. Another one, hey, we got a fight that fell out. Can you show up tomorrow? Yes.
Montellano fighting a better second round than he did in the first. Sanchez bullied him in the first round, I thought. And but Montellano has bounced back nicely.
Noe Martinez, saludos.
You see how Sanchez can get a man up against the ropes, and it's easy to see how he can bully a guy.
Right hand landed by Sanchez. Left. Sanchez in the white in the southpaw stance. Castellano or Montellano in the corner. Trying to fight off the ropes.
He's going to have to get out of that situation, I think, although that was a nice uppercut from inside.
He eats an uppercut.
Looking at Montellano's face, he doesn't look much the worse for wear.
Nope. All the shots being deflected. In close range. Sparring with those Uzbekistan fighters, the Kazakhstan fighters that Joel brings into his gym. Trying to work as Sanchez picking up. Uppercut again from Sanchez. He likes that uppercut. Tito Sanchez, 5-0, 4 KOs. 25 seconds to go in the second round.
And Tito Sanchez is all about imposing his will on his opponent.
Solid right from Sanchez. Solid round. Uppercut again from Sanchez as the crowd yells Tito. Mario Hernandez. Thompson fighter at 15 pounds you're fighting now, Mario? At TKO Boxing in Santana, home of Alexis Rocha. Let's look at the replays here.
All right, Sanchez, we talked about imposing his will. Look, he walks through him and he forces him back to the ropes. Montellano is having trouble figuring out a way to keep Sanchez off of him. It's not an easy thing to do.
Thompson Building Materials, Western Manufacturing, and Omega Products International, and last but not least, Commercial Bank of California. Once again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for all to make tonight's event and every event possible. Thank you.
Head to the third round and our third bout of the night here in Thompson Boxing, celebrating 20 years in business.
Montellano fighting back and actually
Yes,
gets Sanchez on the ropes.
So Linus was right. There's different. Don't look at the record. Uppercut. There he is, Sanchez digging. Now he's trying to separate himself. Overhand left from Sanchez. Sanchez stalking. The Tijuana fighter on the ropes again.
You know, I've noticed something about Sanchez tonight. It looks to me like he knows how to place his punches. He's not just throwing the punches with no particular thought behind him. He looks to pinpoint a lot of his punches.
Which is not what many 5-0 fighters do. A lot of them just wing it. We've seen a lot of them here on the Thompson shows that come in like that. It's all Tito Sanchez here in this fight.
Montellano trying hard, but his pushing jab, he pushes with his right jab. That's not going to keep a guy like Sanchez off. You've really got to
Snap
give
it.
yourself some space and snap the jab, right?
Well, that's what, if you're the taller fighter, Rich, educate me on this. Don't you want to use that jab to keep the distance?
Oh, absolutely. And you want it, if you can, to be an actual weapon. And if you do that, but see how he's pushing that jab right there, that's not going to keep Sanchez off.
Gary Arias, Titan Edge Athletics. Your guy, Ruben Torres, the main event coming up later in the night. Tito Sanchez just stalking his opponent. Montellano, he's been living on the ropes this entire fight. And now you see Sanchez digging. Low blow. He had been warned earlier. You heard Calif Jr. saying, keep him up, keep him up. That one got him.
The fans of Sanchez not necessarily buying Montellano's reaction, but they didn't feel that punch.
Ant Sutton watching us in Australia. How you doing?
I can never figure out what time it is between here and Australia.
Perfect, we can ask. What time is it
That's right.
in Australia? Let us know.
Yeah, we're about 9:15 at night here in California.
Yamilit Gonzalez, que le va a Luis, saludos. Coming up next, Sal the Beast Sanchez, also trained by Joel Diaz, takes on Lobito, a veteran, Viktor Trejo.
All right, we take a look some of the action from that previous round. There's an obvious low blow. He's getting the warning, and now you see Montellano sink several seconds after he got hit with it. There's the punch there. Ref gets between them. Montellano goes to the corner and now sinks down to the canvas. He did buy himself a few extra seconds there, and I'm sure he needed. And I think it was probably a good idea on his part.
It is 4:15 p.m. in Australia. Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Is that today or tomorrow?
You're right, it's actually tomorrow. It's Saturday in Australia. And it's the fourth and final round between Tito Sanchez in white and Luis Montellano from Tijuana in the black and blue. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be.
I'm telling you, Montellano's trying hard, but Sanchez is a handful, Beto. He is going to be a hard guy for people to fight.
That's what I heard out of his gym. He trains with Joel, and in Palm Springs, they run that tram in Palm Springs. In the morning, they're running these crazy sand dunes. He's in great shape. And Alex Wilbur, your boy Richard Brewer, had a third-round KO fight before this. Yu will be fighting 2 more fights. Nelly Cruz. And yes, we do read every single comment. We're here for you guys. There's some growth in Tito Sanchez. He's thrown more punches tonight than the first time I saw him, Rich.
Well, he's thrown a lot. There aren't many guys
There's more activity from him tonight.
who can throw this many punches. He doesn't have a great deal of defense, but in this kind of a firefight, he doesn't really need it, I don't think.
Especially when Montellano doesn't have much power behind those shots.
I tell you, Sanchez's work rate would keep any punch counter very, very busy.
CompuBox, not needed. Punches thrown tonight, a lot. Snapping uppercuts. Working that belt line is Tito. The crowd behind him. He sells tickets. Monchi's in Riverside. Oh, hey, you're the trainer, right? Jose Monchi, I believe so. You have a fighter, I saw you. Monchi, nobody said this is a test, bro. This is like about development, getting rounds. Seeing what Joel Diaz and Antonio can go back and say, okay, this is what you did. This is what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, there are times he's a little wild, but nonetheless, I mean, he gets a lot of leverage on the punches. He really sits down on his punches, and Montellano has been shown a great deal of bravery here tonight. Remember, Montellano was knocked out by Sanchez 2 fights back.
Fight winding down. A solid night of work for young Tito Sanchez. That'll do it. They'll go 4 rounds as Sanchez got some blood on the nose.
That was not easy, especially not easy for Montellano, who had a relentless fighter in front of him.
That was a good club fight. And with the crowd yelling behind you, getting into it, that's a good scrap. Fun for the crowd to see.
Well,
is our main event, Ruben Ace Torres.
What a likable kid he is.
Yeah, he really is. We'll tell his story later on. The Thompson Boxing desk. And no, Monchi, we're not leaving you, bro. We're upgrading, man. We got Rich Murata, Jessica Rosales. And if you saw the behind the scenes, how the crack staff, there's only 2 of them doing everything, you'd be impressed.
Well, I mentioned that Sanchez is someone that Thompson Boxing brass really keeping an eye on.
I'm the responsible.
Just that style right there. His ability to dictate the style of the fight, I think, is very impressive.
Yeah, he's at 126 today. I think they said he can get to 122, which would be better suited for him as he develops. And right now, joined by the president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, Rich Murata. And Rich, if you're a fight fan and you're in Vegas, where do you see your museum at?
It's at what's called the Boulevard Mall. It's east of the Las Vegas Strip. It's in an attraction called Heads Up Vegas. And we have been putting more and more pieces into that museum and the Hall of Fame exhibit every week.
Can you put Sonny Franco's jackets in there?
It could get its own display case.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 exciting rounds of boxing action, to the judges' scorecards we go. All 3 judges Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Rudy Barragan all seat about the same. 40-36, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated from Cathedral City, California, Jose Tito Sanchez.
Congratulations to Tito Sanchez. He's now 6-0. Had to go the distance. But good quality rounds as he learns here. Back here ringside at the ramp, Rich Murata. 3 more fights coming your way. Sal Sanchez, Yuyu Acosta, and then the main event, which features Ruben Torres. Now, I first heard of Rich Murata on the Neutral Corner on AM 1150. I was listening to your radio show. And Rich, let me go down memory lane with you right now. You used to work the Forum Boxing.
Right, from about 92 up until they closed in 2000.
Now, some of the names that came out of there, right, was Humberto Gonzalez, Chiquita Gonzalez, right?
Yes, Chiquita Gonzalez, and just an array of stars who became great champions and Hall of Famers. Juan Manuel Marquez, of course, Marco Antonio Barrera, the great Gennaro Hernandez, Mark Too Sharp Johnson. It really was a wonderful run at Forum Boxing.
And the reason I bring that up is those guys were coming up on their way to the big deals. When you're watching a show like a club show, what stands out for you? Like, what makes you think, okay, that's the kid I need to keep an eye on?
Well, there's a number of things. One is out of the ring when you talk to them and see what they're about, and if they have that look in their eye and how serious they are about it. But as far as in the ring is concerned, some guys will just give you. They'll just be an eye-opener from the very beginning. The first fight I ever saw of Juan Manuel Marquez, his first fight in America that he had, I knew right then that that this guy is special, But it's more early in their careers about just some of the other aspects of boxing, other than are they just walking in there and knocking a guy out in the first round against some guy that's that's has half their talent. They got to show more than that. Yeah.
It's the total package, right?
Exactly.
Some guys just have that.
Yeah, and when you talk about Barrera, he came up the hard way through all those fights. It looked like he was never going to get a title fight. He was ready to quit, at one point.
Really?
At one point, Marco Antonio Barrera, he said if he didn't get a title fight in his next 1 or 2 fights, he was going away. Juan Manuel Marquez was unashamedly dodged by Nassim Hamed for
the Prince
for quite a while, and it took till later in his career, really, till people realized what a great and special guy he was. We're seeing guys here tonight like this kid just caught my eye a little bit. This Tito Sanchez, and it's just his relentlessness, his ability to just impose himself onto the fight, onto the style of the fight, and make his opponent do what he wants to do.
This Famoso Hernandez is watching us.
Famoso Hernandez?
Famoso Hernandez, former world champion, the first champion from El Salvador.
One of my favorites. I really enjoyed calling fights of Carlos Hernandez, Carlos Famous Hernandez, Famoso. Yeah, but it was great. I can still remember when we had Gennaro Hernandez against Carlos Famous Hernandez.
So how do you broadcast that one?
It's by first name only.
Well, I remember watching Rafa Marquez against. I'll go back to that. Sonny Frankl's jacket is blinding me right now. Jeez. We're doing okay. Like, want to keep talking? Israel Vasquez, Rafa Vasquez, all like Marquez Vasquez. I'm like, the tongue tie.
4 fights that they had.
So excited to be with us this
evening. Right back here. Let's go and see what you guys are saying right now. People checking in right now. Next one will be Sal Sanchez. He's coming up. Sonny's really loud tonight. All right, these new microphones we got are show. Rich Aldo Aguilar says, "You'll never walk alone."
Thank you for
what does that mean?
That's the motto and the theme song of the great Liverpool Football Club over in England. My favorite team, my beloved team over in England.
Have you ever worked a fight in England?
I have not.
Have you been?
I've been to 2 Liverpool soccer games, but
okay. All right. Felipe Cedillo, Saludos de Teocaltiche, Jalisco. Teocaltiche, cerca de Nochisán, donde son mis papás. Hey, bro. That's my boy pal. Look at her. This kid right here, follow Henry's account. It's Pal Pal right here. This kid will spar anybody you want. Nice meeting you, bro. Hey, congratulations on Richard Brewer. He looked good. Congratulations. Vodka soda, please.
Hey, Henry.
So we're doing this right now.
Henry, America's biggest Dodgers fan.
Yes, he is.
I don't think I've ever seen him without a Dodgers cap on.
I've never seen him without a cap. But, all right, so you've worked fights in what countries?
Well, I'm in Mexico, obviously, many of them, Canada, United States, and over in Ireland. I called.
You called one in Ireland?
Yes, I called. It was I worked that fight, an entire card solo over there. Wayne McCullough defending his bantamweight championship against Jose Luis Bueno of Mexico. It was a pitched battle, tremendous. In fact, McCullough suffered a perforated eardrum in that fight, and his balance was all off in that fight, and it was a tremendous experience to do a fight in Dublin with an Irish crowd backing Wayne McCullough.
Did they give you a Guinness?
I had my first Guinness there.
Sonny Frankl, that jacket, boy, oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the red corner from Toluca, Mexico, Jerez, Viktor Lobo Trejo.
Tommy, I call that kid Pow Pow. That's his nickname, man. Good young fighter. 13 years old, trains with Henry. Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Jose Acosta, el Yuyu. Él sigue después de esta pelea. So all you guys looking for George Acosta, he fights next. This right here is Viktor Trejo, Lobo from Toluca, Mexico.
He looks all business as he walks into that ring.
Yeah, I saw him in the lobby. Told him, like, hey, you're on the broadcaster for tonight. Anybody got a shout out? He just stared at me. I'm like, all right. You do know I'm speaking to you in Spanish, bro, right? Like, and he's like, I'm just here to fight. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, he's got his game face on.
Oh, yeah. Karen in Navajoa, Sonora.
And now please welcome his opponent as he makes his way to the ring out of the blue corner from Pacoima, California. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Saul "The Beast" Sanchez.
A man of few words, maybe 3 total in his life.
Very quiet.
The Beast Sanchez, Tonio Diaz with him from Pacoima. Not my Richie, 818, but he trains in Indio, California with Joel Diaz. And I guarantee you, Sal has no clue what this song is saying right now. He doesn't care what song they play for him. This is by El Fantasma, El Circo, the circus. You see how he's not bobbing his head?
Yeah, he's not hearing it.
Yeah, he understands some Spanish, but he's not listening to Spanish music. He's like, I don't care, play whatever you want. Let me just get in the ring. Love the attitude from Sal.
Now he is rebounding, or will try to rebound tonight from the first loss of his career. And that is always interesting to see when that happens to a fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans joining us around the world on ThompsonBoxing.com. Once again, we're coming to you from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California, where tonight Thompson Boxing Promotions brings you the next bout of the evening, scheduled for 8 rounds of action in the bantamweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Raul Caiz Jr. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Raul Caiz Sr. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He stepped to the ring tonight wearing the red and black trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 118 pounds even. As a professional, he has 30 fights to his credit, including 17 victories against 11 defeats with 2 bouts even. 8 of his wins coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Toluca, Mexico, introducing Viktor Lobo Trejo. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. When he stepped in the ring, he stepped in wearing a black with white trunks, being led in by legendary trainer Joel Diaz. When he stepped onto the scale, he went officially at 118 pounds even. Tonight, his record stands 12 victories against 1 defeat. 7 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, the hard-hitting from Pacoima, California, here is Saul the Beast Sanchez. Once again, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Sr. to give the final instructions.
Muchachos, ya les dije instrucciones ahí abajo. Los golpes aquí están perfectamente bien. Cuidado con las cabezas, dense la mano y una suerte.
It was last August that he lost Saul Sanchez for the first time. Tonight he faces another fighter with a lot of experience. As you take a look at the tail of the tape, really, however, there's not much to choose from them in terms of their physical dimensions.
Sal Sanchez. Real name is Saul, but everybody calls him Sal. He's in the...
The loss we talked about with Sanchez.
That's a slip. That's a slip.
Was to Edwin Rodriguez, who came here and shocked everybody.
Puerto Rican kid.
He fought a really brilliant fight. Sanchez was doing well early, but I'll tell you, he did not fight a smart fight that night against Edwin Rodriguez.
You're right. Ed Rodriguez, brilliant fight. Joel Diaz said Sal, dumb fight. They wanted Sal to box. Sal wanted to trade. And he got caught up with the veteran. Learning experience. And I've known Sal since he was an amateur, and you would see him. He would be used to spar against anybody. At the small weight, here he is now. His brother Emilio Sanchez fights for Golden Boy in attendance here tonight. They both train with Joel Diaz. Sal talked with him that I understood what I did wrong. I need to change it. Went to camp different. He was also a sparring partner for MJ, who beat Danny Roman for the title. See what kind of growth the young man has in him. Viktor Trejo Lobo from Toluca, Mexico, fighting at 118 pounds. Southpaw in the red.
The guy with 30 professional fights. And I'll tell you, his record is not what you'd call dazzling. It's 17-11-2, but it is a winning record. And he is one of those guys who makes all of his fights, it seems, close. Do you know he's been involved in 7 split decisions in his career?
7 split decisions. Nicknamed the Beast because he gets in the sparring and he just goes. He's a beast in there because Sanchez does not talk. He is the quietest person I've ever met. But he gets in the ring, is different, smaller in stature. The youngest in his family. Trejo. Y a todos los que están buscando a Yuyu, everybody looking for Yuyu Acosta, he fights next. So why don't you guys just share and let him know what's going on. Gavino Cota's the main event. So 2 more fights for Cota. Right now you're watching Sal Sanchez and Viktor Trejo. This was scheduled for 8 rounds, our 4th bout of the night. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, Jessica Rosales. Saludos a la familia Barraza en Sonora. Manden las tortillas.
Little to choose really between the two in that first round. Good first round.
And that's also something for a young fighter when you're getting back into the ring after your first loss, what are you going to do? How are you going to respond? You can spar as much as you want.
It's always a big question, you know. Almost every fighter will face that situation.
There's your Yu-Yu, George Acosta. He's coming up next, getting the hands wrapped. South Winter, California.
Georgia has a pretty good following.
Yes, he does. That's why you're the co-main. At a club show, how do you figure out who's the co-main? Who sells tickets? I'm being honest. You sell tickets, your crowd stays later, they buy more beer. Yep. Chris Bezat brings up a good point about Trejo. He's not just an opponent, he hasn't been stopped in almost a decade.
Right. He lost his first fight. Well, he was stopped in his first fight.
Yep.
I don't think he's been stopped since.
Chris doing research, appreciate you. Shout out to everybody watching us on the Facebook stream. Second round. So I think, as I was saying, after you've lost for the first time, get back in the ring. No headgear, no sparring. Let's see what you're all about. That feeling out round is done. Let's go.
You know, in Sal Sanchez's case, I think it's a case where he needed to learn a couple of things. One, I think he was getting in love with his nickname a little and the style that he was fighting, the Beast, you know, and he scored some good knockouts and had the big fight and the big win on Showtime, etc. And you know, he never adjusted in that last fight with Edwin Rodriguez, and Edwin Rodriguez did adjust. You take a look at that in the last 3 rounds of that fight, Rodriguez is moving around, moving Sanchez all over the place.
You're right, he had some big knockouts. He fought on a showbox card, opened up some eyes. He had Barry Tompkins, Raul Marquez, Steve Farhood on the card.
Right.
And then he gets back with me and loses.
Well, now we know who to blame.
As I tell all these fighters, once you move on from the stream, you don't want to come back. If you see me broadcasting your fight, it means you're doing something wrong if you've moved on. And it's not a knock against them, but if you moved on to the showbox cards, it means you want to keep on going, keep on rising. Ruben Villa, I hope I never do his fights again because he's moved on, become a main event on those kind of cards. Danny Roman on the zone. That's what you want to do, continue to grow. Sometimes you got to take a step backwards though.
Trejo having some success in this round, fighting like a little Chiquita Gonzalez in terms of his style, the way he was attacking Sanchez there.
Sanchez overhand right. Double jabs from Sal. The Beast Sanchez. Viktor Lobo Trejo. Lobo being Wolf. There he is, K9. The man who has a podcast on ESPN now. Steve Kim is joining the broadcast. The originator of the Thompson Boxing stream. As I said, don't want to work with me anymore. Move on up. Steve Kim on ESPN now.
Now a legend.
Yes, he is.
He had a boxing radio show actually with Dave Smith that he used to do that actually predated my radio.
They had a boxing show?
Yeah, and it was good too.
Was that like at the old 690 or?
I'm not sure what station that was, yeah, but it was good. That's 2 guys who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, Dave Smith. And congrats to Steve Kim on his success with ESPN, writing, now with the podcast, the 3 knockdown rule. Final seconds of the second.
Good body blow from the Beast there.
Adelina Alvarez in Irvine, California. Head to the 3rd round. Monchu says, I feel like Trejo's going to catch him if Sanchez starts to tire. Okay. As Calif is checking in on the corner of Trejo. Francisco Salazar, no, nobody's brought us any carne asada nachos. But Jessica Rosales did have the nachos before the broadcast. We took a picture.
They were disappearing fast too. She gets right into them.
That little monster, bro. She destroys food. Our man Linus Esquire checking in. Richard was the only liberal on the Bill Handel show on KFI in LA.
You got that right. I think on the whole station.
Might have been the whole building.
I was on a very lonely guy.
Third round of action. Sal Sanchez in the silver and black.
One thing that happened to Sanchez when he fought Edwin Rodriguez, now I don't know if Trejo can give him the same kind of movement, but Sanchez got caught really just basically following Rodriguez around and not really cutting the ring on him.
Trejo bleeding from the nose. Sanchez starting to sit down on his punches. And Trejo answers back. A knot underneath the left eye of Sanchez.
Remember, Trejo makes for close fights, so he's in there.
Yep.
Sometimes he fights just good enough to lose a split decision, but he's usually in all of his fights.
Crowd into this fight, and you're right. Trejo always into it. Battle, tested, gives you work. All right, all you UU fans, he's up next. Don't disappear when he shows up. And why don't you guys share right now? Share the stream right now. That's it. No more Acosta shoutouts until the fight starts. Why don't you guys share? Sal gets a left. They got tangled up. Trejo landed.
Trejo was going to try to make him pay.
Against the ropes is Trejo, trying to get off the ropes, moves away. Both fighters bleeding from the nose. Got a good fight here. Our fourth one of the night, Thompson Boxing, 20th anniversary. Standing room only crowd at the Doubletree. Over 1,000 people in the ballroom. Bars are packed, nachos are gone. And a good scrap between Sanchez and Trejo breaking out.
What Trejo would like to do is to break Sanchez's spirit, because he's gotten hit with a lot, but he keeps firing back himself. You just saw that good combination.
Veteran. Frankl the southpaw. Solid movement from Trejo.
We told you Trejo would be in it.
Yes, he
And
is.
he is. He's enjoying some real good moments in this round.
Final seconds of the third. Close round.
I want to see if this discourages Sanchez in any way as the fight moves on.
Solid. As Trejo gives Sanchez a little look. Two more fights to go. The main event, Ruben Ace Torres. Stack Saldana watching us. Usually you're here. Oh, you must be in Vegas. Of course he is. Antonio Diaz barking at Sal Sanchez.
Sanchez is actually the epitome, I'll get to this in a second, as we take a look at some of the action from the previous round. This is when Trejo survived that particular assault, but he did answer back very well in the round. But Sanchez is the epitome of what we talk about Thompson Boxing fighters. You're going to be put in tough. Let's see what you can do.
Well, you have to earn your way out of the ballroom. You got to earn your way out of the Doubletree. And how do you do that? By getting tested early. Because with Thompson, the budget is smaller than, say, a Golden Boy or Top Rank. You have to develop your guys sooner. You have to see what you got. So you can't afford to have an extra year to develop a guy, as Steve Kim would say, and give him the Similac. So they get tested early on. Feet to the fire.
I think this is going to be a good mental test tonight for Sanchez, because we talked about maybe he was looking a little discouraged at times. He's hitting this guy with a lot of good punches, but a lot of those are missing too.
Yep.
They're a bit wild.
That one wasn't.
But when you hit a guy your best shot and you do it a few times, and all of a sudden he's bouncing back and smashing you, that can tend to discourage a young fighter if you don't have the mental strength.
Knowing Sal since he was 17 and seeing where he's at, he was sparring Carlos Cuadras as an amateur. The Joel Diaz move on his own to leave his family in Pacoima. He's got that mental toughness, but you're right, Rich. It's one thing to be mentally tough, another one in the ring, and to see when your best shots are being worn. Sanchez in the black and white for those of you just joining us. He's 12-1. Trejo, veteran, 17-11-2. He's the southpaw. This was scheduled for 8.
And it could get increasingly interesting the further this goes. Sanchez winning the early rounds, but taking punishment, and he's throwing a lot of punches, and he looks just the slightest bit fatigued in there to me right now.
In this round, he does. Redness underneath the left eye of Sanchez. Some swelling.
And he's got his mouth open. This is not in the bag for Sanchez.
No, not at all for either fighter.
I've got to figure he's ahead, but look out.
Good round as Trejo comes back with a smile to his corner. Anthony Saldana, first fight he's missed in 3 years live. He's in Vegas covering the Wilder Fury fight, which will be tomorrow on pay-per-view.
He was at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame earlier this week.
Oh, that's a good dude right there.
There's Raul Caiz in the middle of the ring as we get ready for Ruben to enter this ring and see if he can continue his, what has been an amazingly quick rocket right up the ladder.
Yes, it has. Ruben Torres, the main event. He's 11-0, 9 KOs. Aces is his nickname. Got some really smart fans watching tonight. Good commentary. Boxing fans can, when they're not trolling, are very knowledgeable. Head to the 5th round. Close one between Sal Sanchez in the black and silver and El Lobo, Viktor Trejo.
Now Trejo's trying to show a little bit of movement in this round. Not the kind that Rodriguez was, but
Difference was Rodriguez had some pop. Haven't seen much from Trejo. Sal has the heavier hands in this bout.
you see him missing these punches as the fight is continuing. He gets a little wilder.
Yep.
And that tends, those missed punches take something out of you when you miss them. They are tiring.
Toluca, Mexico, near Mexico City. Sal Sanchez, training at Indio, California, where he lives in the boxing house. So Joel Diaz has a camp house where fighters from wherever they're coming from, whether they're Mexico or Argentina or Eastern Europe, they live there and they run together, they live together, they train together. It is a legit camp for these fighters.
That's great.
It's great unless you're from a city like LA and you're living in Indio on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock and it's like, what am I gonna do? Because I gotta make weight. It's that discipline that these fighters go through. That lonely existence that fighters have to go through. Y saludos a los raileros de Aguascalientes que me están mirando.
Sanchez doing better in this round than he did in the previous round. Looks like he's regaining control of it.
Pushing back Trejo. And in this weight division, 118, you could move faster.
How many Caizes are there that are officials in boxing?
There are Raul Sr.,
Yes.
and then Junior is also refereeing tonight. Sister Carla, who referees. And then there's another Caiz brother who judges only. Sal with the 1-2. Snapping back the head of Trejo, who's in the corner.
The beast is unleashed.
Blood from the nose of Trejo. Strong round. Strong fifth for Sal, the Beast Sanchez with 10 to go in the round. Separating him here. Trejo breathing heavy. Eating some shots.
But really not answering back the way he did previously.
Best round of the night for Sanchez. Salvador Gadino, we're not going to talk about the fight. Welcome to Thompson Boxing, where we talk about everything, bro. It's like if you're watching at home. So we answer everybody who's talking on the Facebook. We appreciate you. The action picks up, we'll talk about it. We want to talk about Rich's Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, we'll talk about it. Right now, we'll talk about the replay.
All right, much better round for Salvador Sanchez in that round as he came up. You could see for some reason he did look refreshed and he looked like much better physically than the previous round. And in this round, Trejo just was not answering back the way he was previously. You see him there just suffering the assault and trying to withstand the power of Sal.
Carlos Bowie checking in. Carlos, how do you have it? Fidel, how do you have it? How do you fans have it? With 5 in the books. We're in the 6th, scheduled for 8. Our 4th fight of the night. Hey, don't be promoting your podcast on here, bro. Greg Alvarez, you know Misty's is popping after the fight. You gotta wear a collar shirt though. In the corner again is Trejo.
Trejo looked a little lost in the last minute of that fight and trying to come out here and get himself back into it.
Leonard Alvarez, if you're going to promote your boy, at least tell us where he's fighting, what's his record, where is he at. You can't just say check him out. Feel free, man. Promote your guys. Just don't promote no podcast. Nah, just messing with you, man. 12-1, Sal Sanchez. And it sounds like I'm resetting a lot. I am, because people are checking in and out throughout the night. It's a Friday night, about to be 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Appreciate you joining us. Those of you sticking with us on the East Coast. That pace in the 5th round for Sanchez. See it slow down here in the 6th as he wears a solid shot from Trejo. Sent blood flying out of the nose of Sanchez. The corner of Trejo just said, dale, like just go.
I'll tell you, Sal is taking a lot of punishment in this fight, even though he's winning the fight.
You have him winning?
He's clearly winning the fight.
Okay.
But
he's earning everything.
He is taking a lot of punishment along the way.
Billy Rogers watching us in Pensacola, Florida. Didn't Roy Jones play for a basketball team in Florida?
Yes.
Roy Jones played in a basketball team, basketball game, and a fight the same night, right? Okay, slowing down here in the 6th. 30 seconds to go in the round. Olivia Galindo saying, let's go Sanchez. Been a good battle, back and forth. Sanchez on the ropes. Gets off of it. Wears a couple. Trejo with a late flurry. What up, Carlos Lopez? Sanchez.
Viktor Trejo Garcia is one tough Mexican.
Oh, you're right. Roy Jones is from Pensacola, of course. Billy Rogers, thank you.
You know, Roy has taken out Russian citizenship.
Wait,
He's been fighting over there, had a few fights, and I think he's gotten involved in a couple of businesses over there.
that's our main event tonight, Gabino Cota. He'll be in the red corner from Navajo, Sonora, Mexico. Joel Diaz. Sal's not sitting, usually he is. This one, they're keeping him up on his feet. Meanwhile, his opponent, Trejo, on his stool, resting. Billy Rogers says he traveled with Roy, sparred with Roy. So Roy Jones has Russian citizenship?
Yes. He's doing a lot over there.
For what, taxes or?
No, I know. I mean, he's
Businesses?
still an American citizen as far as I know. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but I guess
Hey,
it's dual citizenship.
are you ready for, you have dual citizenship with Liverpool?
Listen, I spent a little time there.
Carlos Lopez, first time watching us. We appreciate you, man. This broadcast is completely different. We interact with the fans. We see
I
you
think
guys.
it's hard I think when people hear this telecast for the first time,
Yeah.
it's certainly not anything that anybody's
No,
accustomed to.
you know what? The first time we started doing it, it was complete. Because the way I was explained to it 3 years ago was, look, if you're watching a Thompson show, you're a hardcore fan. You know the people, you're related to them. And if you're going to go and spend your night with us on Facebook, let's interact with you and let's have fun with it. It's a completely different medium. It's an interactive medium. And you're watching the fight, so you see what's going on. And as the action picks up, of course, we get into it.
Sal Sanchez, the left side of his face is swelling up.
Yes.
Quite dramatically all of a sudden.
I noticed Joel did not use the inswell in that last round. Julio Perez, Richard Brewer Jr. Trejo winning some of the crowd. And that's another thing. And these club shows, a lot of people have no idea what's going on or who they're watching. They're just coming to scrap. And whoever is like making noise for them, hey, you know, I like that guy. Let's just go. Trejo winning some of the crowd.
You know, you watch Trejo and you can just see that he is a veteran in there. He's up against a young beast in there, but he knows his way around that ring. And he's taken some hard blows and he comes firing back. It was the later rounds against Rodriguez that Sal Sanchez really got himself in trouble.
As the sweat went flying right into us. That's why you wear dark colors at ringside. Alma Torres. Alma, you can spell the whole word. Whoop it. Pace will slow down.
It's a battle of attrition.
Yes, it is. The veteran Trejo. The young fighter Sanchez. Both of them. Battle. Final seconds of the 7th.
This is the kind of fight that shows you that boxing is not for the faint of heart.
As we go to the 8th and final. And if you ever come to a Thompson Boxing show, expect it to be on for 8 hours. It might be a 4-rounder, but they're all going to go 4 rounds. And we have fun with it. All the fights go and do work.
Follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Sal not sitting down between rounds again.
Thompson Boxing Promotions. Also, don't forget, check us out on the web, www.
I haven't seen many fighters who do that. One that did that was George Foreman. They asked him why he would do that. He said, I was afraid if I sat down, I wouldn't be able to get up.
Okay, but Foreman was a big dude. Sal weighs 118.
Yeah, right. It's a different deal.
Hold on, all right. So Chris Bizad, who's our unofficial researcher, says Roy Jones Jr. is popular in Russia because of his musical career. He did a song during the Kovalev yard fight.
Y'all must have forgot.
Chris, I hope you're right, man. Because I'm Anchorman. I'm gonna read whatever you write, bro.
He did do that song, which he had that song which was pretty popular. Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah. 8th and final round, and they're coming out of the middle of the ring. How do you have this one, Rich? Unofficially.
I had Sanchez slightly ahead, but I do feel that Trejo's won some rounds.
Yeah. And they both come out like they're losing. 818, Sal Sanchez. Toluca, Mexico, Viktor Trejo, Lobo, the Wolf. The left side of Sal Sanchez's face, swollen. Blood from his mouth.
Yeah, it's getting messy. He's eating a lot of clean punches in these last 2 rounds.
His first fight after losing for the first time in his career.
And I don't think he's really varied his style much from
No.
what we saw against Edwin Rodriguez. Sad to say.
Trejo's corner, we're right next to him, telling him, move it, move the body.
They may think they have a chance
Yes,
for an
they
upset
do.
here tonight.
Upstairs, 1-2 from Sanchez. Going up to the face. Trejo wears it and moves away. Trejo has a chin, can wear it. Sanchez bouncing around that ring, following. Now blood from the mouth of the Mexican Trejo. Left hook from Sanchez. Going to the body of Sanchez. Stocking of Sanchez. More blood from the nose of Sanchez. So he's dropping them, the punches, and he's wearing the punches. Combination from Sanchez. Not letting Trejo get out of the corner. Trejo hands his back.
I'll tell you, that left hook was a clean one by Trejo. Sanchez felt it, but Sanchez is just so involved in the pitched battle that he tried not to notice. This is quite a round.
Trejo with a 1-2. 24 seconds to go.
Fans into it.
Oh yeah, for both sides. Trejo has fans. Sanchez has fans. Everybody watching has become a fan. A good fight. 118-pounders. Final seconds of the scrap.
Wow. Wow. That was a red-hot finish to this fight.
Everybody clapping inside the Doubletree. Standing room only. And that was a heck of a scrap between Sal Sanchez and Viktor Trejo. Highlights from the 8th and final round.
Sanchez was just not going to let up. He just kept going. And in the end, it was Trejo that was giving ground. Sanchez firing just wildly, hoping that he would catch lightning in a bottle. And I tell you, that was an amazing last minute and a half. Woo.
Trejo does not go down. Trejo doesn't get stopped. But man, does he come to fight. It's been more than a decade since he got stopped. Sal Sanchez learned a lot tonight about going into the deep waters with a veteran.
The style of Sal Sanchez is definitely fan-friendly, but it doesn't necessarily lead to a long career.
There's going to have to be some adjustments as he climbs the ladder, that's for sure.
He did eat a lot of punches tonight.
Whew. Take a chance to breathe right there, because that was fun to watch, especially here at ringside. It was a good fight from both fighters.
And
He is brothers with Sal.
I just love the crowd reaction, you know, in that last round. A lot of people standing up, really yelling.
Yeah, everybody was standing up.
Trying to read the body language and the facial expressions of Sal. I don't know if he's real.
No,
happy.
he doesn't have expressions. Trejo had some fans here. He has the shirts. It's awesome.
Team Trejo.
Y saludos a toda la gente de Toluca que nos están mirando en esta noche en la transmisión. Chris Bizak just sent me the YouTube, the Roy Jones' song. Roy Jones performs at Kovalev Yard. Yes, Chris, we appreciate it. Everybody talking to Sal. That's Joel Diaz Jr. putting on the jacket.
It's a tough night's work.
Yep. That's his manager,
Wow.
Steve Martini.
You ready?
Yep, let's go to Sonny Franco, get the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 exciting rounds of action, to the judges' scorecards we go for the official decision. Tiffany Clinton sees about 80 to 72, while judges Fernando Villarreal and Raul Caiz Jr. both see about 78 to 74, declaring your winner by unanimous decision from Pacoima, California, Saul "The Beast" Sanchez.
He sweeps the card and earned everything about that.
Well, he did get a shutout on one card. I
Yeah,
thought
I don't
that's
know about
out of
that
line.
one.
That's an out of line scorecard.
78-74, I see that.
I
Sal
think
Sanchez.
that's about what it was.
He improves at 13-1, and there will be a long layoff for Sal Sanchez. A lot of shots worn tonight. Beto Duran, Rich Murata back here ringside.
Buy the kid a ticket to Hawaii and let him go rest on the beach.
You know what?
You know?
Rich, we're at a Thompson show. He is not going to Hawaii. He is going to maybe San Diego. Maybe because he's still a club fighter. So get yourself out of here, Sal. But it was a fun scrap, and that's what's going on. 20th year of Thompson Boxing, the club scene. And as we've mentioned it throughout the night, we appreciate you, the fans, interacting with us here on Facebook, sharing it on Twitter, sharing it on YouTube. And if you want to go back and see the fights, you can go and check it out on the Thompson Boxing YouTube. Also, the social media page out there for you. And the reason it's around, because of you. So you see the development of some of the young fighters. Timothy Bradley came out of here.
That's right.
Josecito Lopez has come out of here. Momo Romero, you see some guys move on. Most recently, Danny Roman. And Rich, we saw a young fighter like Sal tonight. Feet to the fire. How much better does that make everybody?
Well, it makes you a lot better, and it makes the people around you a lot better, and it just makes this entire situation of Thompson Boxing better. But we've been seeing this come from Thompson Boxing. You mentioned the fighters a lot. Sal Sanchez is going to have to make some changes, I think, to have a career where he can really step up to the next level. You know, when you had all that success, you don't want to stay at this level here. You know, you want to move on. You talked about it earlier. You want him to move on. But he's going to have to be able to get past this. He's going to have to add to his game that he has right now. You know, become a more varied fighter, become defensively better. We have seen a guy tonight, Tito Sanchez, who I do think has a chance to move up pretty quickly. And it bears watching, to be sure.
And we do read all the comments. And Monchi, just to let you know, this fresh flower right here, go to Amazon. You buy a box of 15 for $10, bro. Go to the outlets, man. Go to the Montebello Mall like Steve Kim and get your Stafford shirts. That's what you got to do. You know who the only fancy one is? Jessica Rosales. She's at our fancy desk right now. Where you at, Jess? What do you got going on?
All right, guys, in just a bit, we're going to have Danny Roman, the former unified champ, joining me up here at the features desk. Now, before that, though, we are going to take a look back at his last fight in Miami. That was against MJ Akhmadaliev. Unfortunately, it ended in a split decision loss. So before we get him up here at the desk to talk about that fight, we're going to take a look back at his performance. right, joining us now, we've got Danny Roman, and of course, watching the video in front of us right now. What type of memories does this bring back for you?
Oh, it was in Miami, Florida. It was a great night, a great card with great champions. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night. I mean, I saw it different. I believe strongly that I won the fight. It was a close fight, but I believe I won the fight.
You were just telling me right now, obviously, the cut that you had from that fight. You've just been cleared to start training again. Tell us about the cut, what happened there, and what you're looking at as far as the timeline now for training camp.
Oh yeah, I was off for a couple of weeks. I just got clear. I got back in the gym. I'll pick it up little by little, and we'll see what the team got ready for me.
And like you said, obviously not your night, didn't end the way you wanted. So what do you do now to move forward? How do you pick up those pieces again?
Oh, I'll go back to the basics. Go back to what I got to practice. See the video once again, and I'll see from there the mistakes I got to improve, and get ready for the rematch if it can happen.
Now, before getting back to business, obviously you get some time off to enjoy some fun nights like tonight. The fights here, we're celebrating 20 years of Thompson Boxing. How has the night been so far? We've had some pretty good fights tonight.
Yes, it's been an exciting night, especially this last fight with Saul Sanchez giving a great performance like always. And we got 2 more fights, George Acosta and Ruben Torres. So we'll be expecting a good night.
Now, one of the things that I've been saying is that the atmosphere here is unmatched. It's electric in here. Everybody's cheering, everybody's getting into the fights. How do you describe the atmosphere here happening at these Thompson fights?
Oh man, it's great. Everybody's supporting it. Everybody's in the fight. Brings me back memories when I was fighting here not that long ago. And it just hypes you up. I'm watching the fights and I'm hyped as well.
Now, one of the things, like I mentioned, we're celebrating 20 years with Thompson Boxing. Obviously, Thompson has had several world champions. You're among those champions that they've had here as well. What do you learn from all the champions before you, and what do you want to leave for those future champions here?
Oh, I mean, they had Timothy Bradley, Josecito Lopez, Johnny Perez. They had great champions. I want to be among the top best coming out of Thompson as well. And and I still feel like I could achieve more. So, I'll leave the future fighters, the generations. They try to be what I achieved, and I know some of them will.
All right. So, one important question I got to ask you though: are you ready for some more boxing tonight?
Oh, I'm ready. Bring them on.
All right. Well, I know you're ready. I know everybody at home is ready as well. So why don't we find out if our guy Sonny Frankl is ready? He is standing by in the ring with our next fight.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the red corner, making his way to the ring from Querétaro, Mexico. Here is Ivan Cachorro Benitez.
The Cub, that's Ivan Benitez. From Querétaro, Mexico, making his way to the ring, our co-main for tonight.
Cachorro, what is that? Like a
Cub.
puppy or a
Cub, like Chicago Cubs.
All right.
Hey, and all you UU fans, share it, man. Don't just leave a comment. I need you to share, okay? Póngale share. Tommy Corsi, I see what you wrote about the nails, man. That's messed up, bro. She's only 5'2". No, actually, I think she's 5 foot. No, he's not wearing basketball shorts, Tommy. Be better than that. You were doing so well for 4 fights.
And now please welcome his opponent as he makes his way to the ring out of the blue corner from Long Beach, California, by way of South Whittier, California. Here is George Eliu Acosta.
Póngale share, Valentin Romero. That's right. George Acosta, 8-1, 1 KO. That one loss coming to Ruben Torres. The two know each other.
Yeah, they were very friendly with each other, actually. You know, I was sitting down in the lobby of the hotel the day before with Ruben Torres. George comes over to him, and you just think about when fighters get together, it's not always so friendly, but George walks down the hall, and Ruben's like, hey, George, how you doing?
They grew up together. They grew up together in the amateurs. Sonny Frankl, he's no amateur.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen and fight fans joining us around the world on ThompsonBoxing.com. We're coming to you from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. Thompson Boxing Promotions presents the co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 6 rounds of action in the lightweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Raul Caiz Sr. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Rudy Barragan. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He stepped to the ring tonight wearing the white trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 134.8 ready pounds. As a professional, he has 17 fights to his credit, including 14 victories against 3 defeats. 6 of his victories come to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, from Querétaro, Mexico, introducing Ivan Cachorro Benitez. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the blue trunks with the colors of Mexico and the US of A. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 134.7 solid pounds. As a professional, he has 9 fights to his credit, including 8 victories against 1 defeat. 1 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he dedicates this fight to the memory of his grandmother, fighting out of South Whittier, California. Ladies and gentlemen, here is George El Yuyu Acosta. Once again, your referee in charge, Rudy Barragan, to give the final instructions.
Rudy Barragan, the 3rd man in the ring. Look at the tail of the tape.
All right, you see Benitez age, not much, a puppy dog. And
That's why he's a cub, cachorro.
and 3.5 inches in reach he's giving up to Acosta. He's a very good boxer coming into this ring and perhaps spurred on tonight spiritually by the loss of his grandmother last year.
El Yuyu Acosta. Why Yuyu? Because that's what they called him as a kid, and that's what they went with. Los Mochis Sinaloa roots has stepped into the ring with a record of 8-1, 1 KO. Ivan Benitez has the experience. Y saludos a toda la gente que nos está mirando en México, en Querétaro, and everybody in South Whittier. And you're going to hear a lot of noise for Yuyu. He sells a lot of tickets, and right now, you know, it's 10:22 on a Friday. You're watching this. Steve Kim's in Vegas watching this. I don't know why, because he's in Vegas. What's he doing in his room? I thought usually he'd be at his lobby bar, his office. No, but he's leaving comments. He can understand this. So what are you guys drinking right now? Seriously, write what you're drinking and where you're watching it from. So let us know. And you think I'm joking? I'm serious. What are you
Steve
drinking?
might be at that bar right in the casino downstairs.
Okay, is Steve at the lobby bar?
Watching the phone. Watching us on a phone.
Is he at lobby bar or is he at Whiskey Down, the cigar spot? See, that's what we got to figure out. So we got to get some eyes on Steve Kim also. We got spies everywhere. Because we know you guys are enjoying this. We know Tommy Corse has had a couple, because he was leaving comments so good through the first 3 fights, and the 4th one went off the rails. But we'll get there. Tommy's drinking root beer in Seattle. All right.
Benitez, we mentioned, is only 19 years old, and he's already had 17 fights.
Mexico.
But he turned pro when he was 16.
It's the Mexican way, right, Rich?
That's it.
How many amateur fights? 4.
And he walked in wearing a T-shirt that proudly said Chiquita Gonzalez Boxing Club.
That's cool. That's cool. Tommy Corset says, I work at a prison in the morning. All right. Leonard Alvarez, you're in the hospital? Are you serious? Why? You okay? Bill Stevenson, Founders Solid Gold Lager. That's a good one. Fidel, Broken Skull IPA. That's the one from El Segundo Brewing, right?
Acosta trying to get that jab to work here tonight. And if he does, it's going to make it tough on Benitez.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, checking in. Luis Angulo, drinking a Modelo. Says, I'm a childhood friend of Yuju back from Whittier. All right, if you're a childhood friend, how come you're not at the fight, bro? Right? Support your guy. Hey, don't tell me traffic. Look at it, it's 10:20. There's no traffic right now. This was scheduled for 6 in the co-main, Acosta and Benitez. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, the president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Here on a fight weekend, Saturday night, it's Wilder and Fury, the rematch. Are you going to that one, Rich?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be there tomorrow night. Very excited, credentialed to watch, and really excited to see this fight. Ever since they made the rematch, I've been looking forward to it. And I'm hoping it's not a big disappointment. Sometimes some of the fights with the biggest hype have turned out to be a big disappointment. You never know what could happen, though. I mean, sometimes in Vegas, it's the theater of the absurd. We've had so many weird things happen there.
Where's Fan Man?
Fan Man's right up there. Tyson biting Holyfield.
Were you there for that one?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I said to the guy I was sitting next to a press row, I go, he bit him. And then the guy said to me, no, he couldn't have. I go, he did. He bit him. This guy's going, no.
No way. Bill Stevenson watching us in the Ozarks, Southwest Missouri, near Branson. Ozarks, a good show.
Another weird one in Vegas. Lennox Lewis fighting Oliver McCall for the heavyweight title. McCall suffering a mental breakdown in the fight, crying, openly sobbing in the middle of a fight. Just putting his hands down and crying.
Anytime you think you've seen something in boxing, you're wrong. Second round between Acosta and Benitez.
You know what's weird, though, about all those weird fights and those really bizarro fights? Mills Lane was a referee in like all of them, I think.
Judge Mill Lane.
Love Judge Mills. You know, while we're watching the fight here, if I just might mention one article that we have of artifact at our Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, if you don't mind. We have a belt in there, and we have a display for referees who've been inducted into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. And Mills, of course, was a judge up in Urbino, district attorney and a judge. He sent a guy to prison, and the guy, while he was in prison, actually had a good feeling toward Mills, even though Mills had sent him up the river, and because he felt that Mills had treated him with respect and treated him fairly during the trial. So this prisoner, and it took him a long time while he was in prison, fashioned a belt. He made a belt for Mills Lane with his initials on the buckle, with boxing themed drawings on the side. With it says Mills Lane on the belt.
The prisoner made him a belt?
He made him a belt, and it has a ring on it. It has boxing gloves, and from then on, Mills Lane, if you look at pictures, you'll see a colorful belt. Mills Lane wore that belt many, many times in the ring when he refereed.
No way.
Fights, including the Holyfield Tyson fight. And that belt was very important to their family and to Mills. Very important family. And they donated it to us in the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. And it's worth a look when you come through.
That is an awesome story. That's a great artifact to have. Now I got to go Google Mills Lane fights and see that belt. The prisoner made him a belt and he wore it. It's once again, boxing. I've covered all the sports. I've done everything. And only in boxing do you run into so many colorful characters and the most diverse background with some of the nicest people also. Now you're getting Steve Willis is the man now tweets. Mills Lane's the best. Steve Smoger. I actually worked with Steve on the zone. He's a rules analyst on those broadcasts. Penn State all the way with Steve Smoger. Another Smoger was I believe he's a lawyer, right?
Mills?
No, Steve Smoger.
Steve Smoger, I'm not sure about that. Mills was the district attorney up in Reno, and then it became a district court judge in Washoe County, Nevada. Suffered a stroke, of course, a few years ago, and has kind of been out of public sight. He was much loved, a great guy.
Smoger, prosecutor, that's what he is. That's right, Steve Smoger. Good man. It's always interesting. I like talking to the referees because the different backgrounds that they have. My man.
Richard Steele, of course, very famous referee.
Bill's beer just delivered finally.
He was a boxer down here, fought at the Olympic Auditorium. Richard Steele.
Wait, Richard Steele?
Yes.
Was a boxer?
Yes, a light heavyweight boxer, and a good one. Had a good record before becoming a referee.
No way. Bill Stevenson says, I used to live in Sylmar. Bobby Chacon, he worked at Pacoima in the 70s and 80s. All right, we appreciate you checking in tonight. We're in the third round of action. Yuyo Acosta, he's in the blue. Ivan Benitez, Cachorro, solid record of 14-3.
Acosta is not blessed with a big punch. As you can see, he's a straight, pure boxer. Good jab, but you're at a real disadvantage when you fight if you are not a puncher. It's a disadvantage, first of all, just from a physical standpoint, and second of all, if you're a pure boxer and keeping fans entertained, keeping fans interested in your fight.
Crime fighting cutman Mike Rodriguez is checking in. Smoger was a former U.S. attorney, that's right.
Mark, you got a headbutt in the head.
Headbutt. That was the headbutt Rudy Barragan says. Mike's son, Andrew, is actually working the next fight of the cutman. Yep. So many characters. Well, Mike Rodriguez, the cutman, is also a detective for the LA County Sheriffs. Who I saw him once work a fight, and in the morning, I'm watching the morning news, he's at a crime scene explaining what's going on.
Well, look, tonight we've had, this is a boxing show, and we've had boxing associated people that are real estate sellers and district attorneys.
Maria Vela checking in Carson City, Nevada.
Carson City is the capital of Nevada. You know, with all the focus on Las Vegas tomorrow night, you know that Carson City was the home of the first world title fight ever in Nevada.
Come on.
Yep.
Carson
The first
City?
world title fight took place in Carson City. There wasn't big fights in Las Vegas until the 50s.
As the unofficial mayor of Carson, California, we've had some good fights there. StubHub, Home Depot, now Dignity Health. 30 seconds to go in the third round. Acosta from South Whittier, California. You hear the Yu-Yu chants.
We got a Tito chant and a Yu-Yu chant tonight.
Now, you got to explain, Rich, who was that first fight?
First fight.
That championship fight you mentioned.
It was in 1897. It was for the heavyweight championship of the world. It was Gentleman Jim Corbett against Bob Fitzsimmons.
Oh.
And in that fight, it was the famed solar plexus punch of Bob Fitzsimmons, who was behind on points, that felled Gentleman Jim Corbett. And Fitzsimmons won the heavyweight title that night, that day. 1897.
1897.
Carson City, that's right.
History lessons with Rich Murata here on the Thompson Boxing Facebook stream. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, California, Alex Campanovo, matchmaker, GM of Thompson Boxing in his 20th year of business. Little Joe Pahar doing 8 jobs right now. Jessica Rosales at our desk. Mike Rodriguez says, I love listening to you with Tom Kelly. Back in the day of the forum, the old Stroh's tournament. What does that mean?
Well, they used to have boxing tournaments. They had a lightweight and a welterweight tournament. In fact, the first winner of the tournament, the Stroh's tournament, at welterweight at the forum, it would go for a few months, these tournaments.
Okay.
Right? And it would feature a lot of local fighters, and then they'd have a good purse for the winner of the tournament, be like $40,000. The first winner was Rudy Hernandez,
who the cut man for next fight?
The cut man.
No way.
Gennaro Hernandez's brother. And he was a welterweight then. He's still welterweight now.
He's a weight. Why was it called Stroh's?
Beer. They sponsored it.
Oh, Stroh's was a beer?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, what was this, like early 80s or something?
That would have been 90s. Yeah, early 90s.
I was in junior high, so I don't know anything about Stroh's. Being a good son of a Mexican immigrant, it was Budweiser in my household.
Well, they had the Budweiser ring card girl contest at the forum too.
Oh, yeah.
Which turned out to be very popular. I think Jerry Buss sponsored those.
I heard this, sir, yeah. Fourth round of action between El Yuyo Acosta. He's in the blue. Ivan Benitez. Limon Jalisco. Neno Rodriguez. Come on, is that really Neno, the boxer? What's up, Neno? When are you fighting again? And where are you training then? The corner of Benitez telling him put pressure. Acosta shoves him off.
Well, the way to fight George Acosta is with pressure, because he's not going to hurt you with much coming in, because he's devoid of real punching power. He likes it if you're at long range and he can flash that jab out and box you. And it's been good enough for him to get an 8-1 record to this point.
Saludos a el Guadalajara. Raton Cortez. Oh, here we go. Neno Rodriguez says he's going to fight next Friday, the 28th, in Dallas. The night before, Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas training with Robert Garcia. All right, well, good luck to you, Neno.
I was absolutely astonished this week when I was been in Vegas to see how heavy a favorite Mikey Garcia is over Jesse Vargas. I mean, I knew that, I think everybody knew Mikey would be the favorite. But if you're going to bet Mikey Garcia, you've got to give up 6.5 to 1.
No way.
6.5. If you want Jesse Vargas, you're going to get 4.5 to 1. So that means basically it's a 5 to 1 fight with Garcia. I figured it'd be more along the lines of 3 to 1, 7 to 2, something like that.
Fourth round winding down. Solid for Acosta. Francisco Salazar says, Rich, my dad and I used to watch you and Tom Kelly on Prime Ticket on Monday nights.
Monday night at the forum.
And then KCal 9 on Saturday nights.
Right.
From 90 to 95. So there was, I'll see you on the nose. So there was boxing on regular TV?
Yes, on KCal Channel 9. Forum Boxing was on the 2 channels, on Prime Ticket and then on KCal.
Okay.
Also, yeah.
I mean, I've heard the stories of it.
The Saturday night fights on KCal for Forum Boxing would take place in Vegas, actually, up in Lake Tahoe or in Anaheim, in venues outside of the Forum, even though it was promoted by Forum Boxing.
Interesting. Different times, and now you're watching this fight on a phone, probably somewhere, wherever you may be. Our main event still to come, Ruben Torres, Gavino Cota, as we head to the 5th round, scheduled for 6. Acosta family has roots in Los Mochis, Sinaloa.
Some fighters have come out of that area.
Oh, yeah. All right. So here we go. KCal 9 fights were from Vegas, Lake Tahoe, and Anaheim. And then Sean O'Grady called fights on USA, Tuesday night fights. What's that?
That was, those fights were
This is Blue Horizon. What's that?
Al Albert and Sean O'Grady did the Tuesday night fights. A lot of those fights were from the Blue Horizon.
That's Philadelphia?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was a great, it was a kind of a miniature Olympic auditorium in terms of being a great fight, venue that was strictly, for boxing.
Now Mike says, what about Hector Lopez, Sammy Fuentes?
Well,
you did that call?
Yes, it was a pitched battle. It was a heck of a fight. I was talking to somebody this week about it because Mitch Halpern was a referee and had some real problems in that fight.
Stop! No more punching, stop!
But those were two of the stars of in that area, the all action fighters, Hector Lopez and Sammy Fuentes.
Good right hand from Julio Acosta. Ivan Benitez in the white trunks. Julio Acosta in the blue. Yeah, I love hearing this history. Like I've heard of Sean O'Grady, but I never watched it. I was the youngest of the family. I'm actually number 5 of 7. One TV. What do you think we're watching? There's a novella on. And that bled from Acosta as a result of a headbutt earlier.
Sean fought most of his early fights O'Grady in Oklahoma, and then expanded out and actually became a world-class fighter. And he fought at the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he fought Danny Little Red Lopez.
Little Red. All right, here, Stack Saldana. Slapping right from Acosta.
Acosta's doing some damage in this round.
Yep. Best round for him. People grew up on Tuesday night fights. Stack Saldana says that Hector Lopez took Bob Arum's daughter to the prom. Come on, how do you know that? Bob Arum's daughter went to the prom with Hector Lopez. See?
That I don't know about.
Once again, you write it, I'm gonna read it. I'm like Anchorman here. And then Francisco adds this. Casino Magic in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. O'Grady was a great fighter. We're taking you down memory lane if you've never heard of this. We're educating you. Highlights from this fight.
And a good round for George Acosta in that last round. It showed a little more willingness to open up in that round, which is a good idea. There you see it, winding up. But he actually looks a little uncomfortable sometimes when he starts winding up and opening up.
This is the 6th in round.
6th and final round, then our main event of Ruben Torres and Gambino Cota. Julio Acosta, 8-1. 1 KO, doesn't have the power behind him. Ivan Benitez, 14-3.
But George does have a lot of friends, and they show up for his fights.
Yes, he does.
And they pay.
And they buy tickets. Michael Love, I know Stacks it down is legit. He, good guy. I'm just harassing him a little bit. Tom Corset, I do work for DAZN. I am on their broadcast roster. So I'll fill in on sometimes where there's a ring reporter, do a couple play-by-play. It's a good group of people to work for. It's an interesting time in the sport of boxing. So many outlets streaming. You can get DAZN, you get ESPN Plus. And on Saturday night, good old-fashioned pay-per-view. Where I'm trying to find some new friends. They have it.
The only ones that don't have it anymore is HBO. They gave up on boxing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Paul Barajas, you're right. I'm not reading YouTube. I only got one phone, bro. Acosta's just lowering the shoulder. Crowd trying to get the You chant going. Stack Saldana, I don't. I work at CBS 2 on Sundays with Jim Hill. Check me out next Sunday.
Yeah, some of your outfits have been quite surprising.
You know, if you're going to be sitting next to the legendary Jim Hill, you better step it up. Jim Hill was in Rocky 3. He's the man, the reporter who asked Clubber Lang, what's your prediction for this fight? He said, pain. That's Jim Hill. He used to do Don King's boxing. "30 seconds to go in our co-main. 6th and final round.
And I think George Acosta's just accomplished, just outboxing another foe.
Ozzy Alanis, I do not work with Fred Rogan. That's Channel 4. Good dude, I used to work radio with him. I'm basically following Rich Murata's footsteps. Everywhere Rich has worked, I'm working also. That'll do it. 6 good rounds between George Acosta and Ivan Benitez. Wraps it up. And our way to the main event of Ruben Torres and Gabino Cota. This one will go to the judges' scorecards. I would never ask to borrow Sonny Frankl's jackets. Because they are too smooth. They go in the Hall of Fame afterwards. One more fight, the main event, and I think Sergio, right? Sal Sanchez right now been the fight of the night against Viktor Trejo. Thompson Boxing coming your way in 2020. And that is our main event up next. And Rich, you were talking about that you heard people talking about Ruben Torres in Vegas.
That's right, you know, and that surprised me a little bit. And people have found out that I'm doing the Thompson Boxing Show. I would talk to them, yeah, I'm coming back Friday I'm going back Friday to do the fight. And then the interesting thing would be to say, oh yeah, that Ruben Torres, he's on there. I've been watching him. Yeah, he's good. And people are noticing him. And that's important.
When you have some
you
knockouts,
get noticed when you knock people out. And he's 11-0
yeah.
and 9 KOs.
There it is. Acosta. Go the decision. And just thank everybody involved right now with the crew watching it, wherever you may be. We appreciate you joining in. And, you know, a lot to ask for you to watch it, but the main event, Ruben Torres, he sold a lot of tickets too. This place will be rocking. Standing room only for him. That's coming up next.
I'll tell you though, that was a tough act to follow for George and Cachorro. To have to follow that
Sal Sanchez going back and forth.
Anthony told me, hey, no Corona, like after I came back.
Now the beers are flowing. I asked for 1, they asked for 2, we keep going.
All they had was 3 times.
You bad boy, Beto.
I just wanted 1 for not each hand. I just wanted 1, you know, with the whistle. And then there we go. Sonny Frankl's grabbing the cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 exciting rounds of boxing action, to the judges' scorecards we go for the official decision. Judge Tiffany Clinton sees about 59-55. Judge Fernando Villarreal sees it 60-54. And Judge Raul Caiz Sr. sees about 58-56. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. From Long Beach, California, by way of South Whittier, California, George and Yuyu Acosta.
George Acosta with the unanimous decision. He improves a 9-1. Ivan Benitez Cachorro falls to 14-4. Good scrap. And now time for the main event.
From Thompson Orange, please welcome Mr. Oscar Gallardo and Alex Ivy.
And he just could not figure out a way to get past the jab of George Acosta. Acosta controlled the ring with the jab tonight, and that was enough for him to win this fight comfortably.
Yeah, comfortably. And all the UU fans, don't go nowhere. Before you log off, make sure you guys share, because we got one more fight to go, which is the main event. Beth Durant, Rich Murata, Jessica Rosales here at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario. Sold out, standing room only in our first fight of the night. And the first fight of the year in 2020. As the Thompson Boxing calendar is out, go to the social media page and check out everything and where we're going to be. The next one for us will be March 14th in Orange, California. That's a private affair. I don't even get a +1 for that one. Then we're back here April, May, June, July, and then August 21st, we're going to Corona. And after that, we're back to here in Ontario, the home for Thompson Boxing. Back here ringside, as we're just gonna continue to talk to you. We appreciate everybody, as we do read all the comments you leave. We thank you very much, and like I said, all night long, without you, we're not doing the stream.
There haven't been quite as many horrible ones.
No.
Filled with the venom of earlier.
You know, we have smart fans, and they interact with us, and I think people have got the gist of it. Like, you can go here and actually have intelligent conversation and knowledgeable conversation, and it feels like you're watching a fight with your friends. So it's you're training the fight fan how to actually enjoy the show instead of just spewing bile.
This telecast, and I have to admit, because I've broadcast one way for 30 years, right? it was a real eye opener for me, but this is a real niche. It has its own niche. The telecast of Thompson Boxing.
It's look, Eddie Juarez right now just got to San Diego in time to watch my nephew Ruben on the Facebook. We read it, and we get it. It's Friday night. You're a hardcore fan or you're related, and you're watching this. Look, you think I'm kidding? I have a beer with me right now, and we know this. We're talking about gambling. We're talking about other promotions. We're talking about what's going on. We are exactly like you. Rich and I are big fight fans. We are going to be watching everything that's going on, and we talk about it. Boxing Rich is on Twitter, where you want to go interact with him. Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. The conversations that we just had about the forum boxing and Sean O'Grady, give me that lesson. I love hearing that kind of stuff. And in other sports, there's always that debate of who's better, who's this. But boxing, I think with reporters and with media and with fans, it's more of the storytelling. I think that's the beauty of it. Right?
Well, I'll tell you, because no sport, and as you know, I've broadcast Major League basketball and hockey and football, as well as doing boxing, but no sport has the characters, and no sport has the more memorable stories, I think, than the sport of boxing.
Yeah, and it's and even now, like you mentioned, Rudy Hernandez is going to be working the cuts in the next fight.
Right.
His late brother Renato, that you go back and you're, I remember seeing you, and you grow up as a reporter with these guys. And like you said, you don't become friends, but then over the years, you're like, man, that's somebody you want to root for. I mean, mind you, there are a lot of bad people too.
Well, Rudy Hernandez is not
No,
he's
not that one.
He's one of the good guys. And in fact, I can remember I did a fight. I did the telecast with Doug Krikorian,
I love that.
Great sports writer and sportscaster, of Gennaro Hernandez's fight with Azuma Nelson for the title. And they fought. It was a tremendous battle, but Azuma Nelson fouled Gennaro Hernandez late in the fight, and Gennaro was ahead on points, and I think everybody pretty much knew it. And Rudy told him in the corner, he says, "How do you want to win the fight? We could stop the fight now. You're ahead on points on that foul," and he wouldn't do it. And Gennaro told Rudy, said, "No, I want to go. I want to finish the fight," which he did, and he won the fight the way that he wanted to win it.
More stories coming your way. Christian Meyer, we see you in Perth, Australia. Love Rich Murata, one of my favorite broadcasters. So right now, let's go up to the ring with Sonny Franco.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary, as we lose one of our very own, we pay tribute with a 10 count. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask that you please rise as we recognize a remarkable individual who is no longer with us. Please remain silent. Place your cell phones on vibrate as we pay respects to this great man. going to tell you a little bit about him. Growing up, he was born to humble beginnings. This man did what he had to do to support his family, to contribute. He shined shoes. He worked meager jobs. He was a very, very humble young man who would grow into a very humble grown man. As a young man, he went into the United States Marine Corps right out of high school, where, as a Marine, he fought in Vietnam. He was wounded in Vietnam, but luckily came back to us. He fought for his country, and he was a war combat veteran. He went on, ladies and gentlemen, to become a referee in the amateur ranks, and then eventually make it into the pro ranks. He was a boxing referee, a judge, and I remember him in my young announcing career 13 years ago. He would always say, when you say my name, it's David Mendoza, not Mendoza. But he said it so kindly, I couldn't help but to smile. He was most noted, ladies and gentlemen, for refereeing over 275 bouts. Some of his most notable bouts that he refereed was Bradley versus Campbell, Escalante versus Oliver, Mosley versus Mayorga, Guerrero versus Litzau, and many, many more. He gave pointers to anybody who would listen and anybody who wanted it. He always took the time to help you out. He sat right here ringside in one of these chairs. He was a lover of music and people. He was respected by the California State Athletic Commission, their entire team and his peers. He was respected and loved by fighters. Even if he called a tough fight, the fighters always respected him. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a great man who will be dearly missed. He is survived by his beautiful wife, Teresa, his daughter, Natalie, and his son, Gabriel. Inside the ring with me at this time is his beautiful wife, Teresa, and his daughter, Natalie. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain silent in absolute respect of a great man as the bell tolls 10. Rest in peace, David Mendoza, and Godspeed.
Siento muy afortunado de existir a estas.
I'm really happy that I've been able to be a part of this event, and especially that I'm the main event, and I'm really excited about it.
Mi preparación fue muy exacta.
I have a terrific training camp, close to 2 months in preparation for this fight, so I've been getting ready. I've started a new training regimen a little bit over a year, always expecting for good opportunities, and I'm very lucky that I got the call for this fight, and I'm at 100%. My level of training and preparation has been terrific, and it's going to show tomorrow night.
He checado videos y veo que sí está un poco larguito.
I've seen videos of him. I know that he's a very tough fighter. He's a very strong fighter. My style is a style that I attack. I'm going to go in there as I always do, which is going forward. I'm a warrior, and people know me for that. But even though I'm a warrior, what I want to do in every single round is take a little bit of my time, figure out my opponent, and then execute my game plan as the rounds go by. Well, I'm very excited for my people to be able to watch me back home in Navajo, Sonora, and all of Mexico. Your positive thoughts are here in my heart, and I'm gonna show you and demonstrate that I'm here to win.
I'm excited to be the main event again. The last time was in November, so I'm definitely I'm more than ready, and I'm excited to put on a great show. I'm just excited and thankful. Just got back to the program. Had a little bit of time off with the family for the holidays, so my training camp, once we got the notice about the fight, we went right back to work, started sparring. A lot of my my most notable sparring partner was Michael Dutchover, a fellow stablemate. He was in there pushing me every day, as well as in training. You see this name on my shorts right here? It's my grandmother. She just recently passed away at the end of last year. Definitely this fight is going to be for her. My career, my life is going to be dedicated to her and just being the person that she would be proud of me being. So this fight is definitely goes out to her, and I just wish that she'd be looking over. I wish she could be here for one, but I know she's going to be watching over me for a great show. Thank you so much for buying tickets. Everybody that's going to be here, everybody that's going to be watching online, thank you for your support, and I hope that you guys are proud of my performance, because I know I'm going to put on a great performance.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the red corner from Navajo, Sonora, Mexico. Here is Urbino Flash Huta.
Urbino Flash Cota coming into Tigre de Norte. Sangre caliente. Cota, a veteran, over 30 fights, 17 of those KOs. It's time for our main event.
And I think this guy is a good test tonight for Ruben Torres, mainly because he's been in with really good opposition, much better opposition than Ruben Torres has fought to this point.
And now please welcome his opponent as he makes his way to the ring. Out of the blue corner from South Central Los Angeles, California, here is Ruben Torres.
Fighting with a heavy heart, that's his grandmother, who passed away after his last fight. Ruben Ace Torres, his grandmother, big role in his young life. Elsa, his abuelita, had a bile duct cancer, found out. Good young man.
Sometimes that can be a real motivating force. I'll never forget Buster Douglas's mom dying right before the Mike Tyson fight for
Good
Douglas, and spurred him on. First thing he did was break down in tears, talking about her afterward.
His dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thompson Boxing Promotions is proud to present the feature attraction, as this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Executive Officer Andy Foster. Chairman John Caravalli. Timekeeper Mike North. Ringside physicians Dr. Kelly Tucker and Jeff Roberts. Your three judges scoring this bout, should it go the distance, are Tiffany Clinton, Fernando Villarreal, and Rudy Berrigan. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Raul Caiz Jr. 8 rounds of action in the lightweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California, where battles are fought and champions are made, ladies and gentlemen, let the battles begin. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He steps to the ring tonight with his silver and red trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he went in officially at 135.9 ready pounds. As a professional, he has 31 fights to his credit, including 19 victories against 10 defeats with 2 bouts even. 17 of his victories come to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Navajo, Sonora, Mexico, introducing Urbino Flash Cota. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He stepped in the ring tonight wearing the green and white trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 135.6 solid pounds. Tonight, he dedicates this fight to the memory of his loving grandmother. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he steps into the ring undefeated. 11 victories, 0 losses. 9 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of South Central Los Angeles, California, introducing Ruben Torres. Once again, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Jr. to give the final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, you see the instructions in the dressing room. Know what I expect? A good, clean fight. Legal, here for you, here for you. Touch gloves.
Caiz Jr., third man in the ring. Tell the tape.
All right, Ruben Torres just basically starting his career at the age of 22. Cota's been around, 26 years old, about even in terms of weight, height, reach. Little edge to Ruben Torres.
Torres 11-0, 9 KOs. Beth Duran, Rich Murata, and Jessica Rosales sold out Doubletree in Ontario, California. Thanks for everybody watching us on the Facebook stream. Mr. Boxing Guru checks in. Guru, you just missed your guy, Yu Acosta, rocking the sweet Adidas gloves. Get the victory. Make sure you guys go listen to Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. As Torres, young man out of South Central Los Angeles, trained and managed by Danny Zamora, stablemate of Michael Dutchover. Heavy-handed. That green and white for his grandmother. That's the color for the cancer that she passed away from. That's why he's wearing the green tonight. LaPorte, Texas checking in. What up, John Carrasco at work? A couple people mentioning that they look alike.
Yeah, you know, that is funny because I thought when I saw tape of Cota, I'm thinking, geez, he's kind of a mirror image of Torres.
Nick Villaseñor in Tototlan del Oro, Jalisco. Danny Zamora has a nice stable.
Cota, known as Flash, is a tough fighter, a brave fighter. He's won a couple of minor titles. As we mentioned, he's fought very good opposition. Hasn't been able to scale the very best, but he lost to guys on decisions like Jonathan Oquendo and Orlando Cruz, who fought for a world title. In fact, he fought Orlando Cruz for the NABO title. He lost a decision in each of those fights. So he's been in there with good guys, good competition.
Step up in competition for Torres tonight. And thanks everybody watching us. And everybody in the Doubletree is Team Torres tonight. The RT shirts everywhere. Torres, 5'11". He makes the weight easy also. Trains with Jerry Arias at Tyne Edge Athletics. And puts in the work. She runs over at Biola University where they do their track workouts.
He's very good height for a lightweight. Yep. And you know, as long as he can keep making this weight, and as you said, he makes it easily right now. So this is a good spot for him to be in this division.
Henry Ramirez had a winner tonight, and Richard Brewer, now he's at El Pescador in Ontario. Solid right by Torres. Crack him with the left hook. Working, attacking is Torres, and going down is Cota.
Wow, that's rather shocking. Cota down here in the
He never went down. I thought he went down. They didn't count it. He just buckled. Torres backed up.
Torres hurt him with that first punch, and then a quick combination after that and sent him sinking to the canvas. Wow.
I thought Cota's knee went down. Caiz never jumped in to count. Torres backed up. His gloves didn't touch. Calif Jr., the referee, never counted. So, regardless, though, Cota wore some punches. Let's look at the recap.
All right, we'll take a look at it right here. Cota coming forward, caught Torres with that right, but then he got hit himself by that right. Now that left hurt him, and it was shortly after that that he got knocked down. It was there's the left that hurts him, coming over the top, a barrage of punches, but he
never went down.
The only thing you could say about that was he leaned against the bottom rope, so it was really the ropes that were holding him up.
But Calif never counted.
It could have been called a knockdown if he wanted to call it a knockdown.
Big shot, 5'11", Ruben Torres, 5'7", Flash Cota.
I have to admit, I'm very surprised by that. As I mentioned, Cota's been in with all those good fighters and gone the distance with them, even if he lost.
Guru, did you hook up Ace Torres with those Adidas? Torres, it's great work, overhand right. Here in the Southern California scene.
Solidifying himself as a real prospect is Ruben Torres. He's in the gym, works hard. He's excited about his own career. He feels like he's going to go somewhere, and I think he's probably right. As you see, he does a lot of things pretty good in there. He's got a good stance, hands held high, and he does have that good power. Plus, he's been throwing more punches in recent fights.
Hooks again, hurting Cota, who's covering up on the ropes. In the shell is Cota. He's just trying to survive. Torres, the bigger, stronger fighter.
Ruben Torres digging, catching a lot of people's eyes, and you're seeing the reason for it.
Where was he for a while? He was in college. He played high school football at Santa Fe High, was a receiver, took time off from boxing.
Yeah, he was out like 3 years.
Went to San Francisco State and said, I missed it. Told Danny Zamora, how about we get back into this boxing? Said, okay, well, if you're gonna come back home, you better go to school. So he goes to Cerritos College, does take classes. But sometimes that break.
How many trainers do you know would say that to an up-and-coming pro fighter? Would say, no, I want you to split time between school and boxing.
I didn't say full time. He's enrolled. And aren't we all? We're all matriculating, right?
Cota trying to bounce back. I think at the beginning of the second round, that first minute, he still hadn't recovered from that little assault that he suffered at the end of the previous round.
Guru, the way that Torres is looking, I think you might want to jump on Ace Torres and get him on the Adidas deal. Personable kid, has a good following on social media, brings a crowd. In bed by 9. His grandfather's at every fight.
And a lot of people are saying, hey, is this the latest diamond in the rough?
Look at the way he's moving.
Boxing is found.
And Cota is a solid opponent.
Yes, absolutely. This is the 32nd pro fight of Cota's career, and it has been a rough 2 rounds for him.
All right, since everybody's promoting their podcast, we got the Talk Again podcast with the Fidel, Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. Anybody else got a podcast on the stream that you guys want to promote? Feel free. Team Torres coming out strong. I'm a little upset, Rosales. They had Daza Kuduro earlier. They didn't play it loud enough. Bonchu, come on, clean it up, bro. No need for that.
Hey, he can't handle that pressure,
5'11", cracking is Ruben Torres.
You know what? One thing I really like about Torres And we talked earlier tonight about a fighter who was pushing his jabs. Torres does not push his jab. He throws his jab with bad intentions. It's meant to do damage as well as set up everything else he's got.
Saludos a nuestro gran amigo, don José Vitela, a la grande de Durango. Saque la guitarra, don José. Toca una canción o dos. Rich, 5'11", 135. Automatically you start thinking of the late
Gennaro Hernandez.
You got the man whose wife you work with. Diego, right?
Diego Corrales. Yep, same type. You know, it's funny too, when you get guys like Ruben Torres, skinny armed, Diego Corrales, skinny armed. Those guys are hard punchers. They're not muscle bound, but they know how to deliver a punch.
Ruben's development is coming along nicely the last couple years.
He tried to triple up on that jab and he cracked himself up. Ruben is in control. And the one problem for Cota is so busy looking out for that hard jab of Torres. He's spending all this time trying to defend against that jab, and then he doesn't see the other stuff that's coming his way.
A few fights ago, Ruben Torres fought George Acosta. I mentioned they're friends from the amateurs. They went the distance, and Torres was ripped into by his team, saying you were too nice. You need to come out and be a dog. Since then, he's come out really aggressive every fight. He's a nice kid. He goes and works for the homeless. He goes to an orphanage. He's just that good kid. And now he's just unloading. Vicious intentions with that left hook, moving Cota back. There's nothing on the punches of Cota here in this round.
Ruben Torres, very impressive so far in this fight. And Cota hasn't gone into a survival mode yet, but he might if he has a couple more rounds like this.
When Torres lands, you hear the thud. It's on schedule for 8. All Ruben Ace Torres. I used to know an ace of SoCal. Mr. Boxing Guru said this kid has a beautiful jab. Monchu, leverage. Look at the rehab.
All right, another round controlled by Ruben Torres, controlling it mostly with his jab. Look how long that jab is, and it's straight, and he throws it hard. I love it. There it is again. See, and it sets up his right hand. Ruben Torres showing a very much a varied attack here tonight. Very calm over in the corner.
Danny Zamora working it. There you see Rudy Hernandez, cut man, bald.
The first
that's
tournament
not him.
winner.
That's not him. That's,
first tournament winner.
That's Paul California right there with the headset on, the man behind the scenes.
My gosh, he's a handsome fellow.
We are. Fidel Avendano, appreciate the nice words. When I used to work at ESPN Radio, and I kid you not, when I worked at ESPN Radio, you could tune in on other radio stations. So when I worked the Saturday morning national shows, I would listen to the Neutral Corner with Rich Murata. I think you're on at 9 in the morning.
That's right, 9 to 11.
Yeah, my shift was 6 to noon, and I would listen to your radio show on 570, working at 710.
Now that is a compliment.
Well, I wanted to hear, because the night before I was working the late Johnny Ortiz's show, so that's how I got into the boxing media world. 1-2 from Torres.
That was another flash, Johnny Flash Ortiz.
Body shot to the flash of Cota. Doug, is he gonna get up? Is he getting up? No, he's not.
That's it.
It was a matter of time. Ruben Ace Torres.
Let me tell you, this kid is the real deal right here. Ruben Torres, big future in front of him. Completely controlled the fight against a good veteran fighter who was a step up in class, who had gone the distance with some very good fighters. but certainly was really never in this fight tonight, and the reason was is that Torres never let him in the fight tonight.
He was hit hard in the first, more in the second. And look at the highlights from it. It was all Ruben Torres.
Everything worked for him tonight. You saw that right to the body. Again, a delayed reaction on a body punch there. Right to the body, then the pain sets in, and down he goes. And at that point, you know, Coda's fully cognizant of what's going on here. And he can hear the count and see the ref, and he just has to make a decision. Do I want any more of that? I think I just ate that right hand. Too much pain. I'm not getting up.
Chris Bizad. Ruben Torres may be a Boy Scout outside of the ring, but his punches are malice-laden. Man, you write too well. I can't read you anymore because I'm going to sound dumb next to you. But very, very good observation from Chris. Yeah, I would say buy stock now on Ruben Torres.
That's right, yeah.
And every partner that I've had, Steve Kim, Doug Fisher, you, Rich Murata, when they see Torres for the first time, it's always, whoa, okay, who's the kid? And he's still green because he's learning still.
But he is developing. I just like the way he takes over that ring. He controlled the whole geometry of that ring in that fight with that jab, but it wasn't just a jab. Jab hard, follow with the right, throw the left to the body.
Throw the left to Sonny Frankl's jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 52 seconds of round number 4. Referee Raul Caiza Jr. puts a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by way of a knockout and still undefeated from South Central California, ladies and gentlemen, Ruben Ace Torres.
Don't go anywhere. Jessica Rosales is going to have an interview with Ruben Torres. She's going to grab him. Usually we do it, but now it's
Inside the ring at this time to present the winner Warriors from HB.
Hey, Sonny, give her the ring. Give her the mic, bro. Give her the mic. Come on, Sonny. Give Rosales the mic. You don't want to hear from us. Hey, Daniel Ochoa, don't go anywhere. Ruben Torres is about to speak. Let's go to Jessica Rosales inside the ring with Ruben Torres, a new feature we have here.
Guys, now before everybody heads out of here, we know that you guys came here to see Ruben Ace Torres. So right now what I'm going to do is let you say what you need to say to the fans that came out here today. What do you want to say for all of the support and everyone that came out to see you tonight?
Of course, just thank you to everybody who came out tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. First of many, 20th year of Thompson Boxing. Thank you, and thank God for this opportunity. Thank you.
Now, you are definitely one of those fighters that when people say, don't sleep on this kid, you don't sleep on him. So what statement do you think that you made tonight?
That I'm not letting up. I know I could have stopped him a little earlier, but then again, his experience. So I'm just taking it for what it is, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep coming, keep getting better, stronger, and look out.
Now talk us through that 4th round right there and talk us through that body shot. What did you see in him that kind of let you know that that was going to be it and that he wasn't going to be getting up?
He was tough. I was definitely kind of waiting for him towards that 7th, 8th second. I thought he was going to get back up. He's a warrior. He's been into some tough fights, later rounds. But more than anything, I've seen that he was taking punches and he was kind of reacting to them like they were hurting him. So my hat goes off to him. I'll tip my hat to him. He was a tough game opponent, and I'm glad I came out victorious.
All right, Ace, congratulations tonight. But what is next for you after this fight?
I don't know. Line him up, and I'm going to continue to do my best to try to knock him down.
All right, there you guys have it. Ruben Ace Torres, the winner in tonight's main event. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Line him up, and I'm going to take him out, and I like the confidence from Ruben Torres. He's now 12-0, 10 KOs. Good job, Jessica Rosales. Our main event is for a reason. You work your way up there. Not too long ago, Ruben Torres, Rich, was the first fight of the night. The kid is moving up. Yeah. You talked about it in the open. We talked about another fight. You're in Vegas for Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder, and people were talking to you like, oh, you're working that fight on Friday? Torres? Who is this kid? What are you going to tell him tomorrow when you see him?
That's right. I'm going to tell him just what Jessica said in there, which was not to sleep on this kid, Ruben Torres. He looks to me like he's got something special here going, and I've been very impressed with everything that he brought to the fore tonight against, as we mentioned, a tough opponent who he forced to really just surrender because of his punching power. But he's doing so much in there, in that ring, controlling the style that the fight is fought, controlling the space of the ring, and I just love the style that he's got. Everything he throws, he means bad intentions. Yeah, you know, I mean, even that jab, which it all starts with that jab, but then he works off of it and shows a lot of power. He's very exciting. 12-0, 10 KOs. Who can argue with that?
I'm not going to argue with you, Rich, and I like your style too. Thanks for joining us tonight on the first Thompson Boxing of 2020. Victories for Ivan Zarate, Richard Brewer, Tito Sanchez, Sal Sanchez, George Acosta, and the main event, Ruben Ace Torres, 12-0, now 10 KOs. For everybody involved with Thompson Boxing, we'll see you next month. If you want to go and catch everything else, check out the YouTube page, social media, everything back there. Kite Monroe on the pictures. For Alex Campanovo and Mr. Ken Thompson, Joe Pahar, California, and the entire crew working behind the scenes. My partners, Jessica Rosales and Rich Murata. I'm Beth Duran. Thank you for watching Thompson Boxing.